these are peaceful protests?
Yeah, people. Nobody is touching each other. People have gotten in each other's space. That's a little bit more on the aggressive side. Nobody is hurting any buildings. Nobody is hurting each other.
It does seem though like it's a little bit more tense today than it has been the other day.
Because I think it's down to the.
I got excited. The action started coming in. I thought we had a verdict. That's protest outside of the courthouse. One of the people who watched the show earlier today, they had a request. They said, "Can you show video from outside the courthouse?" I had no idea what was happening outside the courthouse. Did anybody know what was happening outside the courthouse? Now we know what is happening outside the court. That's why the brother said, "Do you have any video from outside of the courthouse? Please stand by. Please stand by. Please stand by." Perfect time of podcast in the building. And StreamYard been having difficulties, you know what I'm saying? But we still live. We was live earlier, but we live now. Somebody get in the chat with your monkey ass and tell me how I'm looking. Yeah, my 5.0 cool table brothers, man. Y'all gotta be on y'all square, man. Let me know how I'm looking in the chat, man. How's the video? How's the audio? StreamYard been acting like straight butt heads, you know what I'm saying? StreamYard acting like straight butt heads, man. But I should be on Streamlabs, but I tried to go live with my Patreon earlier. That didn't work out, so. And then I do have a Streamlabs account. So today if everything doesn't go well today, we may be on Streamlabs tomorrow. So let's see how we looking. Let's see how we looking. How's everybody doing today? It's been a beautiful day, It's the end of the year. Holidays coming up. Turkey Day coming up. Christmas coming up. Who celebrates holidays? I don't celebrate holidays, but talked to my father earlier. One interesting I want to talk about is I talked to Pops and I was breaking down the case. And while I'm showing the case, Pops totally agreed. Ooh, look at that visual. That video look horrible, man. Okay, let's cut off the video. The video's looking bad. Video's looking bad. Video's looking bad. So we're gonna do it without the video because the video is in poor quality, but we still rocking. So right now, the case is in deliberation. The jury is deliberating. We don't have a verdict yet. I thought we had some traction. I seen some movement on my live stream, and no movement on the live stream. So the jury has not returned a verdict in the case of Kyle Rittenhouse versus the state of Wisconsin. So we're waiting on the verdict at this point before we move to the next story, which is going to be the Ahmaud Arbery case. And we're going to do the same thing with the Ahmaud Arbery case that we did with the Kyle Rittenhouse case. So we standing by. We on standby for a verdict. But one of the things I want to share with you is I had a conversation with my father in the interim between podcasts. We had a morning podcast, and now we're doing our afternoon podcast. And I was explaining to my dad about the case, and my dad was saying, how does he get around carrying? How does he get around certain thing. Okay. So this is a question I think my wife, my partner had this question. My dad had this question. So my dad is intelligent. I'm intelligent. A lot of intelligent people had this question. I think this is a worthy topic. Wait for it to come in. And I had a song I was going to play. I still might play the song, and I do my intros, but I'm not feeling well, y'all. So that's why you don't hear the intro with the music and everything, the loud music. I got a headache, man, so I can't do the loud music like that right now. So I'm gonna play some music because I had a funny song I wanted to play. Uh, that's not even that's not exact art. It's a picture that I use that in thumbnail. I might use that in prosecution. You should that. That's a good picture of the prosecution. The way he has that AR-15, it kind of looks kind of menacing. You know what I'm saying? Kind of that's what I clicked on, and I don't see. Okay, okay, this is okay, everybody. So my dad had a question after the podcast, and my dad said, um, even in the defense, how the judge, I don't believe Kyle will get convicted of. So my dad said after I explained the subsequent charges and stuff will be deliberated, believe he'll be convicted on self-defense. Anything, the only thing they'll be able to convict him on is a second degree recklessness. My dad and I'm doing this, we're both doing this. I really love my dad. I enjoy speaking with him today. And my dad didn't look in there 17 and you see this gun. You guys see the gun because I know my video quality is right now. But look at this. This is a picture right here. Y'all see that picture? Y'all see that picture? So look at that gun. Look at that gun. What kids are walking around with a stick or a mop stick. This is what they talking about in all these rap songs. I don't think kids should be walking around with this. Tell me what in the chat. So this is the gun, right? This is the gun, right? So my dad says he came in with a gun, right? It was an illegal gun, right? What about that charge? At the very least, Kyle Rittenhouse should go to jail for the gun, right? Everybody, I know I'm talking low, man. Y'all might say, you take your medication, I've been medicated. Yeah, you take your medication, probably you take medication, man. You're real somber, man, real down, man. Nah, man. So Pops was asking me, what about the gun, right? So at the very least, let's say the very this jury will convict on second degree reckless. And I said he's home with some probation. I said a lot of times with a lot of guys, you the jury count to convict on because that is not, he will go home and your threat of this King Kong Kung Fu. One case, one verdict, one charge. So the jury is compelled to come back with a guilty verdict. But in this case, there's a litany of charges, right? First degree, second degree, third degree, first degree reckless, second degree reckless. All these charges that they charge this boy with. Why? So the prosecution has been given a narrow pathway to conviction, but yet the jury has been given a very wide pathway to punishment. The jury, for this white boy, the privilege that he's been provided is that a wide range of punishments from all of these. So depending on how the jury was picked, somebody even said that Kyle got to pick the jurors. Out of the available 18 jurors, Kyle got to pick out of who would be in the jury. So you effectively can have people on the jury that says, because remember what the defense said at the closing, that even though, so this is what I mean by he won't get found guilty for first degree. The judge said, if you find that Kyle was defending himself or protecting property, then you cannot find him guilty of first degree. But then he came back and qualified that statement by saying that Kyle already has privilege to self-defense with one of the deaths. Kyle already has privilege to self-defense with one of the deaths. And then he said that if you find that he has self-defense in that death, then you can't find him guilty of first degree in the subsequent deaths. First degree is off the table. First degree is off the table. And a lot of times when black men are in similar cases, there's only one opportunity for the jury to come back with a conviction, because they only give the jury one option. They don't give the jury multiple options to give out different levels of punishment, because the jury might say, well, Perfect is not warranted to go to jail for the rest of his life because he was defending himself. Why don't they give us the opportunity to give Perfect manslaughter? A lot of times you don't hear about your brother or your cousin getting manslaughter or second degree because the DA didn't give the jury the option of that. They only gave the jury murder one. So we got to be convicted on murder one. So my pops was asking me, what about the gun? What about the gun? What about the gun? You guys, let's read this article. It's extremely illuminating. Put a one in the chat. Let me know if the audio is good. I know the video might be. Shout out to everybody. I see She slide through. Shout out to my good brother She. We here in the building. I'm listening in the building. Shout out 300 Warrior was in the building first. Shout out to 300 Warrior for being in the building first. Shout out to She. We here. Anybody new in the chat not subscribed to She? We here. I'm listening in the building. Man, subscribe to these good brother 300 Warrior. Got some good content for the doomsday preppers out there. Make sure you subscribe to all my good brothers out there. So we're going to read this article, man, because my father had a great question, and I love my dad. We had a great conversation today, and my dad wanted to know about the gun. This Kyle possessed the gun illegally at 17 years old. So at the very least, he should be found guilty off the bat for that. Would everybody agree, right? Has anybody wondered about the gun? At the very least, Kyle should have been fighting this case. If he was a black man, he would be fighting this case while incarcerated, right? Because of the gun, right? Anybody listening out there? I'm listening. Shout out to everybody. This was my father, another black man who grew up in this system. This is what he wanted to know. He said this young boy had a gun illegally, right? The fate of the 18-year-old Kyle Rittenhouse, who gunned down two men and injured another during a 2020 protest, is in the hands of the Wisconsin jurors who are set to begin deliberations Tuesday morning. His trial concluded Monday after Kenosha County Assistant District Attorney James Krause had last word in the rebuttal of the defense closing arguments just before 7 p.m. I think I'm going to go play that because I don't think we played the rebuttal, okay? It's not up to Mr. Rittenhouse to be judge and jury and eventually the executioner Krause. The only intimate threat that night was Mr. Rittenhouse. He's guilty. Rittenhouse has argued throughout the trial that he was acting in self-defense amid a chaotic scene when he fatally shot two men August 25th, 2020 during a demonstration that erupted after the police shooting of Jacob Blake. Woo! How many people knew what the protest was about? Jacob Blake's name has been forgotten about. Can we say a prayer for Jacob Blake and his family? When the last time you heard about Jacob Blake and his family? His life was under threat, defense lawyer Mark Richards told jurors Monday. Every person who was shot was attacking Kyle, he said. I remember that. In closing arguments, Assistant District Attorney Thomas Binger challenged Rittenhouse's claim of self-defense and gunning down Anthony Huber, 26, and Joseph Rosenbaum, 36. They enjoy the thrill of going around and telling people what to do without the courage and the honor to back it up and without the legal authority to do so, he said. Rittenhouse, 18, is accused of intentional homicide of Huber and reckless homicide in the death of Rosenbaum. Moments before closing arguments began, Judge Bruce Schroeder dismissed the count of illegal possession of a dangerous weapon by the person younger than 18. For my father, Big Dennis out there, I'm going to read it one more time. One more time for the crowd. One more time. Look at this headline. Look at that person. Look at prosecutor and attorney looking real good with that air. You must go to the range on the weekend. But your case, man, just got dismantled again. Your case been getting dismantled, been getting walloped, been getting smacked cacao by this judge the whole time. Victims, and now the fatal last death blow. Hold on, she. Let me get a coffin nail. Hold on, she. Wait a minute. What does the judge say about the white boy, 17 years old, carrying a fully automatic machine gun in the melee? What did he say? It's dismissed. Moments before closing arguments began Monday, Judge Bruce Schroeder dismissed the count of illegal possession of a dangerous weapon by a person younger than 18. No charges. It's dismissed. And they ain't no victims. It's dismissed and they ain't no victims. What's up? It's dismissed and they ain't no victims. It's dismissed and they ain't no victims. It's what? It's dismissed and they ain't no victims. It's what? It's dismissed and they ain't no victims. Everybody. It's dismissed and they ain't no victims. How could he commit murder if the gun he possessed wasn't illegal and he was defending himself? In one of the cases, if you read and listened to what I read, one of the charges was first and the other charge was reckless. See, it sounds different depending on the state, but basically what it's saying is that one person, he was charged with first-degree murder, but the judge would not allow them to charge him with first-degree murder in the other person, because the other person was attacking him. So the best that they could do was a reckless in the second. Woo, it's this, and they ain't no victims. So wait a minute, if he's charged with first degree for the first guy, how can that guy not be called a victim? I want this judge. Woo! His life was under threat, defense lawyer Mark Richards told jurors Monday. Every person who was attacking Kyle, he said. In closing arguments, a district attorney told challenge Rittenhouse claim of self and gunning down Anthony Huber, 26, and Joseph Rosenbaum, 36. They the thrill of going around and telling people what to do without the courage and honor to back it up without legal authority to do so. Now accused of intentional homicide in the slaying of Huber. Huber is the 26-year-old, and reckless homicide in the death of Rosenbaum, the 36-year-old who was telling people, kill me, I'ma kill you, and trying to light on fire. Now, because this person was telling people, I'm gonna kill you and kill me, he cannot be charged with first degree on this person. So he's the one that can't be called a victim, but everybody, bad apple spoiled a bunch. One bad apple spoiled a bunch. So because he can't get charged with first degree on this one, and this guy got a victim, did everybody understand that? Does everybody understand that? Let's go. Oh man, I want to show video, but my video not working, man. Does everyone understand what the judge has done? One person is not a victim. 4 people got shot because one person is a victim. Then he said nobody is a victim. Woo! The judges, man, this judge is like, no. That's who this judge is. This judge is Macumbo on the prosecution. Swat, no. Moments before closing arguments began Monday, Judge Bruce Schroeder dismissed the count of illegal possession of a dangerous weapon by a person younger than 18. The misdemeanor punished by up to 9 months jail was considered one of the prosecution's stronger counts. Oh my goodness, you guys, I can't make this up. The misdemeanor punishable by up to 9 months in jail, considered one of the prosecution's stronger counts, because if the gun was illegal, then the acts he committed with the gun were illegal, right? Right, good in, good out, bad out. The gun was illegal, what he doing was illegal. That's easy to deduce. If the gun was illegal, what he was doing was illegal. But the judge said the gun was not illegal because the judge believes in his mind that what he was doing was not illegal. Let's keep going. No one disputes that Rittenhouse was 17 when he walked the streets of Kenosha armed with the Smith & Wesson M&P-15 rifle, part of a genre of firearms model after the iconic AR-15 long gun that was initially developed for military use. But Schroeder cited an exception in the law. Oh my God. Oh my God. Schroeder. Schroeder cited an exception in the law dealing with hunting. Be very, very quiet. Shh. Shh. Be very, very quiet. I'm hunting bunny rabbits. Schroeder cited an exception in the law dealing with hunting, the age of the defendant, and the length of the barrel for dismissing the count. The reason observers correctly believe the misdemeanor gun charge was a slam dunk is because it's not disputed that Kyle Rittenhouse was under 17 and he possessed the gun. NBC News legal analyst Danny Culliver said, but the criminal statute itself is more complicated than that. For this statute to apply, the defendant had to also violate a hunting regulation that only applied to people under 16. The defense discovered that what was essentially an error in the legislation, that Kyle Rittenhouse did not violate a law that only applies to someone under 16. Slam dunk for Schroeder. Crowd goes wild. Slam dunk Schroeder. Crowd goes wild. Slam for Schroeder. Crowd goes wild. Oh, man, I got to play some music, man. Because the loophole, you know what I got to play, man. Y'all know I got to play that moves, man. Shout out to Trust. I got to play some, man. I feel inspired, man. Because that's real loopy right there, man. I feel inspired, man. You know what I'm saying? I got to put on something, man. For that, man. Golly, man. I tell you, man, because it wasn't no verdict, right? So I'm like, I could do my regular show and filling this content on the criminal case. I'm a hostess with the mostest. You know what I'm saying? I'm the dopest on the flowest. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna keep going with the criminal case. You know what I'm saying? The criminal case been feeding me. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna keep going with the criminal case. You know what I'm saying? But I'm like, okay, what's gonna be the next movement with the criminal case? You know what I'm saying? So my dad asked me about and here we go right here. So much inspiration. You know what I'm saying? If y'all, man, call your peoples, man. Stay in tune with your peoples, man. Father power, man. Podcast, man. Father power, man. So where this at, man? Where this Moose at, man? Shout out to Mussolini, man. Shout out Trust in the building, man. much content on here. The channel was Pack of the Plug, man. Y'all don't know about no real hip hop. Coffee, be talking about he like a Quasimodo and shit. But Coffee, if you like real hip hop, you would be on these sites I be on. I told you about Stone Throw and the whole story. He from Northern California, you know what I'm saying? That's what Mad Lib and all that, the Red, and you got to know about this shit. Stone's Throw is like, but if you real hip hop, you know about Stone's Throw. Another one you got to know about is this one right here, Packer the Plug, you know what I'm saying? Packer the Plug, you know what I'm saying? So Packer the Plug is where I be getting a lot of my heat from. And Packer the Plug is where I get like exclusive 38 special. Whenever 38 special drop some, you know what I'm saying? Rest in peace to Fred the Godson. I'm a big guy. I didn't got sick, you know what I'm saying? But I'm staying positive with my illness. But you know what I'm saying? So 38 Special did a good ass song with Fred the Godson right before he passed away. He got COVID, but he had other complications for being overweight, which is why I always promote the health and the eating right and everything. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling Pops today about that. I don't really eat meat. I'm a pescatarian. And he was like, you got to eat that Chilean sea bass and everything. I'm like, you already know, Pop, that's what I'm on. You know what I'm saying? So little inspiration, man. And this is dedicated to the Judge Schroeder on the Kyle Rittenhouse case. This is dedicated to Judge Schroeder. You know what I'm saying?
Moves. Okay. 2. Check it. Satellite. She looking up to the sky, waiting on my land. Gotta execute the plan with Barry as a chauffeur. 100 worth of coca, sting of ours. Getting money on the road. Gotta bring it back home. And that ain't one cologne.
Lasso MC in the building. What's up, brother? You hear that, Lasso? It's all loopy, man. You hear that, Lasso, man? Purpose having podcast in the building. That's my brother in the chat right there. Subscribe to the guy, man. That's my brother in the building, man. Fire flames, man. Get over there and subscribe to my brother. Get over there and subscribe to my brother Rose Gold, Don P. All of my good brothers over here, that good family over there, man. It's family over here, man. We going in, man. I got 5 flames for y'all, man. Y'all heard what I said. See, in New York, you can't even have a gun, man. In California, you got the trigger lock law. And in this case, they dismissed the gun. My son got it up right now. Go look at my son, Lazo. My son up there. You look at my son, heartbroken. My son spent all that time in prison. 3 to 9 in New York. 3 to 9 in New York. Tell him, Lazo, let's go.
Don't let the waves spin. When I lay low is when they pull me back in. Money so exciting and that burger be a bison. Driving dirty with no license. I didn't NC cooking with my nigga crisis. Now we catching flights and them haters catch the bus. Stop telling lies, you can never beat us. We really that fly, we can never be touched. We ain't equal. I do what I say, putting on for my peoples. To the next move, I'ma make a movie with the soundtrack groovy. Fly play shit with the beat all loopy. Fly play shit. Loopy nigga. Moves. Listen.
Listen.
Ain't no hole in the round. Listen. Kiss it. I put a hole in the ground.
Listen.
Dig it. Freak, get explicit, then it's back to the rhythm. Wanna know how I did it? Then take a look. It's called not being shook. Roll the dice. Got lucky on them twice. You create your own life. Start sketching. Drawing.
Want to know how I did it? Nigga, take a look. It's called not being shook. Live every day, Monday through Friday, 5.0, creating my own platform, creating my own lane. Perfect, how you do it? Teacher, tell me how you do it. It looked really easy, like there was nothing to it. But they don't understand that the ruler will be the creator of the style. Ricky, teacher, tell me how you do it. It looks really easy, like there was nothing to it. But they don't understand that the ruler will be the creator of the style. Man, somebody stab me.
Peace. It's the dawn in these streets. She gon' melt in them sheets. It's nothing, baby. Catch you on the rebound when I swing back in town. Take a swim. You know the pool heater. Girl, it's much needed. And your boy keep a PS. What's the cost? Straight to the source. You know I'm the boss. Ain't no middleman talking soft. My bitch in the thong talking all soft. Take it all off.
Pray.
Most,
I pray for my enemies. Pray.
Everything different.
Pray.
Close to the women.
Let's
from
go.
The way that we live in.
Let's go. Everything different.
When she sniffing, so bold with the vision.
5.0. Let's go.
Years, get him clipped if he itching. Came so far with a few more scars to get in position. The army ain't tripping. Eating, fighting all these small demons in the Bentley truck steaming. Shower D with the beige heated seats.
What's a few more scars to get in position? The army ain't tripping? Where you come from? Where you come from? You come from the mud? You come from the dirt? This case will resonate with you. A dismissal of a gun, a long gun looking like an AR-15? Where you come from? A few more scars to complete the mission? The army ain't tripping? You want her to submit. The bishop said she won't submit because submit is the root word to submission. You don't have a mission. You're not a leader. You're not a king. Get your act together, son. Get your goals together. Get a direction. Get a mission statement. You know what a mission statement is? Lazo said, 15 on a... You working in a corporate America, you better, when you go on that interview, you better know their thesis, their mission statement. What's the mission statement of the company before you submit to that job? Let's go. Somebody stop me.
Bossed on from the east, see the logo on my fleece, getting head in the whip, almost crashed up the V, but I didn't. Nah, it's with the beige heated seats. Bossed on from the east, see the logo on my fleece, getting head in the whip, almost crashed up the V, but I didn't.
But I didn't.
Nah, still sitting clean. Blend. Fucky category, everyone think they Tony to the movie hit the end. Hit a win, hit a great heaviers.
Until it's over. Until it's over. Everybody Tony.
Pray for America.
I pray.
I pray for America.
Pray.
Yeah.
Pray for America.
Pray. It's so crazy right now. It's so crazy.
I pray for America.
Pray.
Hey, yo, Moose. Yeah.
Yo.
I pray for America.
So crazy right now.
For America.
Pray.
FDA approved and move. You see the stamp on it. TRUST. You know the brand, homie. Stay low. Every move I don't advertise. And with these square niggas, I don't fraternize. I plot plans to plot land and grow wealth. I'm talking long term, thinking beyond self. I'm 2 steps, 2 checks ahead of niggas. Rather starve before I ever let a nigga feed mine. Read signs, I'm in the cosmos. Or the white sand, sipping cosmos. Virgin daiquiris and EU notes. I took an oath, I stayed afloat and made waves. Through the scope, I line them up and make graves. I'm self-made, yo. I'm the image of the Lord. The New Testament is written, I record. Yo. So applaud me, nigga. You might try, can't ignore me, nigga. Yo.
I pray for America.
Pray. Yo.
I pray for America.
Nah. We pray on America, niggas.
I pray for America. For America.
Look, hustle night to ferry me from the club spots. Turn my mama crib to a drug spot. Surviving in the hood with just a subplot. Cause you don't need to get locked up to get your mug shot. And everything different. From the bands that I whip into the jet fuel gelato shit, hitting depth to the competition. By far there is none. OG's preaching on the wisdom, trapping out the Hilton, ballin' like Wilson. Your views are like chips when you touch your first million. White truffle dishes, but we taking care of business. If it ain't about the money, I ain't with the politic and catch flight. Stay fly when I land. I'm from New York, but I'm ahead of my time. Like I reside in Japan, I got right with a plan. And now them birds pulling up, cause the ice looking like grease on your man, Bossed on one of one, no replicas. You know I pray for America.
Pray for America.
Trust.
I pray for America.
Trust.
I pray for America.
Trust. 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 We back. That was just a little interlude. We back. It's just a little interlude. We back to the story of the day. We answering the question for Papa Bear. Papa Bear was like, he got to go to jail for the gun, right? Nope. Now, you guys, the Judge Schroeder He's been throwing like fireball. This man is like, oh, you get. Now, what's so unique about the judge's call is that it's the timeliness of this decision, right? How would you feel as a prosecution that you felt like, because think about what I'm explaining to you about the chain of events that we've all learned and heard about so many times from our uncle. See, we too familiar with this criminal system. We should be more familiar with the financial system. The judge waits till right before the jury deliberates. This is something that the prosecution, this was the crux of his case. If the gun is illegal, then what he did with the gun is illegal, everybody. Can everybody in the chat agree with that? That's easy to deduce. I'm not saying I think Kyle is guilty. We're having an intelligent discussion. We're not talking about perfect timing's opinion. My pop asked me about the gun. I said, Dad, that's a good question. I went to go do research. I found my son very emotional about the fact that the judge dismissed the case, and I found this article I want to share with you guys. That right before deliberation, you might think that the judge dismissed the gun charge in the beginning because that would make more sense for the prosecution to have that information while he fought the case. No, the judge did not dismiss the gun charge until right before the jury to go deliberate. That's some cold shit. He had throughout the whole case. This wasn't a new decision that they knew they had to make a decision on a gun. I'm sure the prosecution just assumed that the gun was illegal. He's 17, it's legal. I'm sure the prosecution just assumed, and you should not assume. You should never assume. Because the judge obviously read the law, because the judge has been trying to save this boy from the beginning. Has anybody noticed that? Perfect Timing said the judge is on the defense. I said the judge is a part of the defense, man. What would behoove the judge to go and read the law and find these nuances of the law? Somebody tell me in the chat. As an impartial party, it makes you rethink the individuals. Lazo, we are corporate. Like you, when you go and you project manager, I'm an analyst. I train project managers. Part of going into a new department before I do a changeover and change management, you want to identify the decision makers and the key players. We think we know who the decision makers and the key players are in the courtroom. The reason why I'm showing this case because it's been a great case study. How about that? It's been an excellent case study on what and how these positions and who the key makers, decision makers are in this room and how it could flow and should flow. Who knew that you could designate how you would refer to people who had lost their lives via the court? He said you could not call them victims, but I just established with this document here that there were two separate charges. So the victim claim that the judge made in the beginning of the trial would be appropriate for Rosenbaum, right? It would be appropriate to not refer to Rosenbaum as a victim. We have video of Rosenbaum making death threats and property. Rosenbaum attacked Kyle. It would make sense to not refer to Rosenbaum, 36-year-old, Kyle 17. It would make sense not to refer to Rosenbaum as a victim, but it's my understanding that up to 4 people were shot that night. 3 people had lost their lives. What about the other individuals? But the judge said, Schroeder said from the beginning that no one would be referred to as a victim. And he said, what was a cousin? He said, an alleged victim is the cousin. But you can't call them looters and rioters. That was established in the beginning. And then understand this, right before deliberation, he said that the gun charge is dismissed because of a loophole. Even though 3 people are dead, 4 people shot. Y'all following what's going on when I talk about the King Kong Kung Fu? 4 people shot, 3 people dead, and he's still an innocent child. for a black man, you don't have to do shit, and they turn us into King Kong, put us in jail. Even when you blind, cripple, 80, you blind, 80, cripple, and crazy. Still, you got to go to jail for 10 years, and you can't get out until you're 90 years old. When a black man life expectancy, he's already lived past that, and he's blind, can't any threat, or can't hurt nobody. But still, Bill Cosby, our doctor, our brother, our father, had to go to prison for something that he didn't do. For something that he didn't do, he had to go to prison. I thought you only go to jail when you were a threat to the community. No, he was being punished. And right before the liberation, they just dismisses the gun charge because of a loophole. I hope you understand what I read. Did you understand what I read? That I believe this law exists this way on purpose. What I read to you is that the way that he got off is because he was 17. If he was 18, it would have been illegal. If he was 16, it would have been illegal. But the way the law is written is complicated, is what the lawyer said, that if he is under 16, there's provision for punishment. But the punishment is still only 9 months. But there is no provision for punishment for someone who is 17 years old. In order to punish him, he would have had to break hunting law because of his age. And in that law, there is nothing that a 17-year-old can be convicted. So there's no law broken. So he threw the gun out. He threw the gun out. He said, because of his age and because of the length of the barrel. He was hunting that night. It was some hunting going on. We saw him hunting. But he wasn't hunting bunny rabbits. But he was damn sure hunting. All of those men were hunting that night. Hello? They was damn sure hunting humans. Shout out to Mobb Deep. Oh, man, what's that song? You ain't ready to ride and hunt human beings. That's that, man, I might have to play that, man. That's that Albert Einstein, man. That prodigy Albert Einstein. Them last 2 albums before he passed away, man, there's a lot to learn on those albums. Albert Einstein and the Hegelian dialect. You ain't ready to ride and hunt human beings. They was out there hunting human beings that night. Why did they have those guns? The judge begged to differ. The judge said no. Let's read that part again. Let's read that because Perfect be freestyling. This is an article from MSN Sports, y'all. I'll put the link in the article after the video so y'all can break it down and y'all can argue with me. And I want the comments, and I thank you to all of the new subscribers, and thank you to all of the new people that's been coming through. I really appreciate all the commentary. Father power, Father power, Father power, Father build a spirit. The misdemeanor punishable by up to 9 months in jail was considered one of the prosecution's stronger counts. No one disputes that Rittenhouse was 17 when he walked the streets of Kenosha armed with the Smith & Wesson M&P 15 rifle, part of a genre of firearms modeled after the iconic AR-15 long gun that was initially developed for military use. But Schroeder is the judge. To everybody listening, Schroeder is the judge, okay? Schroeder cited an exception in the law dealing with the hunting, the age of the defendant, and the length of the barrel for dismissing the count. The reason observers correctly believe the misdemeanor gun charge was a slam dunk is because it's not disputed that Kyle Rittenhouse was under 17 and that he possessed the gun. NBC News legal analyst Danny Culliver said, but the criminal statute itself is more complicated than that. For this statute to apply, the defendant had to also violate a hunting regulation that only applied to people under 16. The defense discovered what was initially an error in the legislation, that Kyle Rittenhouse cannot violate a law that only applies to someone under 16. Creative. Rittenhouse still faces 5 other charges stemming from the fatal shootings. On Monday, Binger played video that appeared to show Rittenhouse put down a fire extinguisher and raising his weapon. He then recreated the scene for jurors, putting down a water bottle in place of the fire extinguisher and raise the actual weapon in court. That is what provokes the entire incident, Bingers. When a defendant provokes the incident, he loses the right to self-defense. Even she said this was the part that he finally started to wake up in the case. The prosecution was hand-tied the whole time. The only time he could really flow was in closing. So that's when he got his flow on. This is what provokes the entire incident. This is when he gives his math. The same way, perfect timing, I'm like a lawyer on here. It's not that you have to believe me, but I present a compelling argument when I present the facts. That's why a lot of black men don't like me, because they think I think I'm right all the time. It's not that I think I'm right or I think I'm perfect. I'm just good at presenting a compelling argument. And I'm proud of it, and I'm not going to not be proud of that ability. It's a gift that I've been given by God, and I'm blessed. So just benefit, and if you want to debate me, you could debate me. Just like this lawyer, you win some, you lose some, but you win. You will. You win to fight another day. Binger tried to flip claims of self-defense, saying people in the crowd confronting Rittenhouse that night were the ones protecting themselves. I submit to you, ladies and gentlemen, that in this situation, crowd has the right to try to stop the active shooter, he said. They have a right to protect themselves. The defendant is not the only one in the world who has a right to self-defense. That was good money. I give it to the prosecution on that. That was good money. That was good money. Defense lawyer Richardson bristled at the term active shooter. Ladies and gentlemen, Kyle was not an active shooter. Richard said in closing argument, that is a buzzword that the state wants to latch on to because it excuses the actions of the mob. Woo! Oh, man. The defense lawyer also argued that Rittenhouse is a victim of a political prosecution. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a political case, he said. The district attorney's office is marching before the case because they need somebody to be responsible. He killed 3 people, bro. Oh, my God. Hey, don't forget, he did ask for a dismissal. Okay, so this is in context because the defense have asked for a dismissal more than once. So when he says that the DA shouldn't even brought the case, he means that because he asked for a dismissal more than once. This is not, they asked for a dismissal. And the judge allowed the case to go through with very little leeway for the prosecution. But he contemplated dismissing the case, straight up. Straight up contemplated dismissing the case with 3 people dead, 4 people shot in the gun that was illegal. But now we see how it all played out and why they asked for a dismissal. If the gun is legal and he has self-defense, then why are we in court? If the gun is legal and he has privilege to self-defense, then why are we in court, Judge? I don't need to be here. I only do murders. If you're going to try him on his lesser charges, then he'll plead to that. My client will plead to that right now. But I don't do that. So I'm telling him to plead because I only do big murder cases. I want a dismissal. And the judge wouldn't get a dismissal. Somebody has to be responsible. They needed somebody to put on and say, we did it. Here's the person who brought terror to Kenosha. He did. Kyle Rittenhouse is not that individual. The rioters, the demonstrators who turned into rioters, those are the individuals, okay? Both are true. It's a bad situation all the way around. Richards painted a picture of chaos, trash, fires, a mob, and a wall of people destroying cars. That's all true. He described Hoover's skateboard as a deadly weapon. True. And bystander's flashlight as a potential weapon. True. And another demonstrator as armed with a 2-hour. The defense suggests that Rosenbaum might be a danger to others. Kyle shot Joseph Rosenbaum to stop the threat to his person, and I'm glad he shot him because if Joseph Rosenbaum had got that gun, I don't for 1 minute believe he wouldn't have used it against somebody else. Richardson said he was irrational and crazy. That is also true. Cold case. It's a cold case. Rittenhouse walked down the street intending to put out a fire in the trash receptacle being set up by attackers for an ambush, Richard said. The mob has now formed and is chasing him down, he said. Rittenhouse was headed toward the police lights to inform police what had happened when two others in the crowd attacked him. The defense attorney said, Kyle is zero threat to anyone, Richard said. Describing the defendant's attitude, everything's good, leave me alone, I'm going to the police. Hoover swung his skateboard at Rittenhouse, tried to kick his head off, the lawyer said. They called him Jump Kick Man. The defense insisted that Rosenbaum was trying to disarm Rittenhouse to use his own weapon against him. They said that several times. He was a bad, bad, bad man. He was there. He was causing trouble. That's true. He was a rioter. That's true. And my client had to deal with him that night alone, Richardson said. I remember that part. My client had to deal with him alone. They making him sound like a hero, a vigilante, you know what I'm saying? Charles Bronson and shit, you know what I'm saying? The Equalizer, you know what I'm saying? Man, great article, man. Great article. This article breaks down the case. We're not going to read the whole article, man. But this is a great article, man. And what is this right here? So I wanted to show, I think it was Robert or Steven. Kwafi Nino on the building. What's up, Kwafi? Man, I wanted to show, like, I had a bunch of new people. Hey, let's go, Brandon. I don't know what you're saying. What's up, let's go? What's wrong with what you don't know what about? Let's go. Please chime in, brother. Please chime in, brother. You are welcome to join the conversation. I'm so blessed and happy to have you in the chat. Where do you fall on this? We got to get us a panel up. I'll get us a panel. I got the link in the description, the chat. I gotta get us a poll up there. Well, where do you fall at? Let's go. Is it let's go, Brandon, or is it that's that shout out to this beautiful, gorgeous woman who does Red Pill conservative content. I think her name is Red Pill Rage. She's super attractive on so many levels. Her intellect, and let's go, Brandon. You make me think about her. She reminds me of this lady that's in Sacramento who runs the smoking club. She smokes cigars, and she's equally as beautiful as this woman who does the conservative Republican Red Pill content. It's so funny that I meet these type of women, but I worked in the hospital, so I work with nurses and nurse managers and PhDs and black women like this who've been in roles like this. So when I deal with women like this, I know they always be like, how does he know how to deal with me? Because I've been dealing with you my whole life. So these are the women that I date and who I'm attracted to. So shout out to, I don't know if Let's Go Brown, if you're a male or a female. So Let's Go, let me know your preferred pronouns. And Let's Go Brandon is a slang term for a derogatory term for the president of the United States. Actually, I broke that down for my audience, and you didn't hear that broken down in this black male content creator manosphere. But I love talking about politics, which is why we're talking about Kyle Rittenhouse. So I was able to deduce from that cute little name that you have that you're a Republican and you're probably a Trumpian. But I'm also a Republican, a Trumpian, a conservative. I believe in God. I believe in I'm pro-choice. I pray on my podcast. So if you really do believe that, you welcome here. And if you came from Red Pill Rage, if you came from her Twitter page, and if you came from her YouTube channel, you're welcome here. So I welcome you in my chat, and I welcome your opinion. And tell me what you feel about the case. The reason why I'm showing the Kyle Rittenhouse case is not whether or not Kyle Rittenhouse is guilty. To me, I'm showing it as a contrast. As a conservative, as a Republican, as a black conservative, as a black Republican, to show that there's two systems of justice, and that the way the judge treated Kyle is how all Americans should be treated. Not just my white brothers, but my brothers, my Latino brothers, my Asian brothers. All Americans should have the same defense and the same judge. Everyone should have a Schroeder. Bill Cosby should have had a Schroeder. R. Kelly should have had a Schroeder. Trayvon Martin should have had a Schroeder. Lake should have had a Schroeder. Yeah, that's what I'm showing this. Ahmaud Arbery deserves a judge like this. Do you understand what's happening in the Ahmaud Arbery case? We're waiting for a conviction in this case before we talk about the Ahmaud Arbery case. But what's going on in the Ahmaud Arbery case? In the Ahmaud Arbery case, the prosecution or whoever is trying to get the white boys off is basically saying, I don't want no more black pastors in the courtroom. People like Al Sharpton. It came up again today when Jesse Jackson was in the courtroom. He said, I don't want Jesse Jackson in the courtroom. And the judge had to check him like, number one, you don't get to say who's in my courtroom. This is my court. Finally, we got a Schroeder showing up. I think it's going to make every other judges look bad. They're going to make other judges look bad. And if you are in trouble, who's the key players in this courtroom and who was the decision maker? That lawyer is doing a lot of grandstanding in that Ahmaud Arbery case. And the judge finally had to check him today and say, you don't get to say who is in my courtroom and who is in my gallery. I didn't even know Jesse Jackson was in the courtroom until you made a big deal of it. This was going on. So we're showing this case to show a contrast. Let's see what my brother Kwabi said. Kwabi said they made him look like a superhero when he was a recruit for the KKK, and the older people put him up to it. Come on now. They made him look like a superhero. They made him look like a superhero, and they're giving him the protection of a police officer. I heard that part. They made him look like a superhero, and they're giving him the protection of a police officer. Benefited like a police officer. So that can't be ignored. Now, somebody earlier in the chat was asking about what was going on outside the courtroom. Perfect, can you show video of what's happening outside of the courtroom? I had known that it was so tumultuous outside of the courtroom. Hey, do y'all be listening to how I be murdering words? Hey, is my sister in the chat? Hey, sis, I love you. You let me get away with murder. I be murdering words. I just keep going. Hey, Son Claw called me the other day. Son Claw said, he said, perfect. What did you say? Motherfucker, you know how to spell it? Hey, I be murdering words, man. Murdering words, man. Oh, man, just murdering words. This is bad, man. What am I doing out here? Oh, man. Okay, let's look for protests. I got subscribers new watching. They'll be like, what did I do? He be making the words, mama. Oh shit. Tumultuous. Come on, y'all. Help me out in the chat. Come on, man. I ain't got it, man. He might don't got it. He might don't. Somebody at home right now. Oh, my back. I can't laugh that hard. My back, I'm sick. Oh, shit. I'm going to laugh my back out. God, dog, man. This sickness ain't no joke. I'm going to shut this bitch down. My back hurt from laughing too hard. Oh, shit. He might don't got it. Oh, I'm so glad she don't listen. I hope she not in the building. Tell you not in the building. He might don't got it. Protest outside. Kyle Rittenhouse. Outside, Kyle. Oh man. Tumultuous. Y'all know what I'm trying to say. Woo. Hey, what if YouTube mess with the algorithm every time you mess? That's why black YouTube content creators can't get to 1 million subscribers. You know what I'm saying? They keep tearing up these words on the algorithm. Oh, he tried to say tumultuous. Oh, he tried to say, oh, that made me think of when we went to go eat. Can you tell me how to get to El Patio? Are you talking about the patio? Excuse me. Do you know the directions to El Patio? El Patio. L-E-L-P-A-T-I. Shit. Can you tell me how to get to El Patio? Oh, man. El Patio. So I was trying to get to this place, this Mexican place. I'll tell this story. This is a great story. And what's going on, man? It's internet be tripping. And I asked this white girl, and I think I know Mexican, right? Because I got Mexican people in my family. I grew up around Mexicans. So I say to the white broad, I say, do you know I get the El Patio? And she looked dead back at me. And she said, are you talking about the patio? I feel so stupid. Oh, God damn. Oh, man. Are you talking about the patio? I didn't even say that. I just drove off because I felt so stupid. You know, you feel stupid. You just drive off slow. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know Mexican, like, oh, man. Are you talking about the patio? Man, are you talking about the patio? El Patio. I need to get to El Patio, bitch. I don't know what the patio is. This is a protest outside. This is a protest. And when y'all in what was that? San Jose, Santa Clara, check out El Patio. They got bomb Mexican food.
Kind of go across the street.
Stand by. Am I on mute? Stand by. Am I on mute? I'm not on mute. Stand by. I got Karen. Is this Karen? Does that look like Karen? Stand by.
Trial made their final arguments inside the courtroom.
Tell me if I'm looping, y'all, because I don't know if I gotta mute myself. Stand by.
Attorneys in the Kyle Rittenhouse trial made their final arguments inside the courtroom. Outside, protesters argued their own sides.
We're going to stamp out racism. We're going to fight the systemic racism. We're going to undo this.
Going on right now isn't even about racism.
It is about racism. That's why we're here.
White people.
Dozens gathered on the courthouse steps Monday airing their grievances.
The cops should have been out of their vehicles protecting our city, not letting people do it.
Among the Rittenhouse supporters, Mark and Patricia McCloskey, the Missouri couple who made headlines last summer when they brandished their guns at protesters outside their home.
Do you think you and your wife being here might be furthering tensions between you and the other side?
Well, I hope not. I think we're just as ordinary citizens to support a fellow. We're not carrying signs. We're not screaming anything.
On the other side, Justin Blake, Jacob Blake's uncle, has been outside with supporters every day of trial.
Seen people arguing back and forth.
Well,
Have you gotten involved?
nobody's drawn any weapons. No one has drawn any weapons. There's been no physical violence. As a matter of fact, there's been more time given to being civil. We may disagree. We may have juxtaposed positions, but we don't resort to violence.
Protesters on both sides say that they will continue to show up outside the courthouse until a verdict is reached, Patrick.
And it's quiet here tonight. Caroline Reinwald reporting live in Kenosha.
Live from Kenosha, That makes absolutely no sense. I don't know what that man was talking about. I don't know what that was talking about. We back to let's go to more video, man. We got
facility in Vernon Hills.
we got more video. We got more video evidence because it's all about the receipts. Who want to see the receipts? Perfect Timing got the receipts, so you can make your own decision. Who got the receipts? Who got the props? 5FT, Evil D, and Buckshot. Who got the props? 5FT, Evil D, and Buckshot. Who got the props? 5FT, Evil D, and Buckshot. Who is that?
Tonight, charged with 2 counts of intentional homicide, 1 count of attempted intentional homicide, along with several weapons violations. Reporter Richie McGinnis interviewed the Antioch teen that night. McGinnis was interviewed by police because he also witnessed one of the shootings.
People are getting injured, and our job is to protect this business, and part of my job is also helping. If there's somebody hurt, I'm running into harm's way.
Independent journalist Richie McGinnis interviewed Kyle Rittenhouse the night police say the 17-year-old Antioch teen killed 2 people in Kenosha.
I don't know exactly what his motivations were. He did tell me that he was there to protect the peace and to provide medical attention.
From the area? What brought you out here tonight? You just want to provide medical attention?
Provide medical attention to people that need it. Somebody's injured. Like, you get hurt, I'm grabbing you.
McGinnis is a witness cited in the criminal complaint filed by prosecutors in Kenosha County today.
The way that he was describing what his role was seemed very detached from the way that he was being perceived. And so that's what I mean when I say he seemed very naive.
Rittenhouse is heard on McGinnis's video saying medical as he walked through the crowd. Tonight, the Wisconsin lieutenant governor reacted to the charges and why Rittenhouse was even in Kenosha.
These armed men who have no connection to even this state. The guys from our town. So think about how ridiculous that is. Who is he accountable to? Nobody. And for him to even be able to shoot somebody and still walk away from the scene. I mean, they talked about finding a knife inside of the car, not even on Jacob Blake's person. But this guy's carrying around a long gun, killed somebody, just walking freely, was able to get back home to Illinois. Then, we got a much bigger problem on our hands.
Kyle Rittenhouse is scheduled to appear in a Lake County, Illinois court in Waukegan tomorrow morning for an extradition hearing. Alan?
Hey, if you like that video, be sure to subscribe to our ABC7 Chicago YouTube channel.
Perfect Timing Podcast got the video. Perfect Timing Podcast got the video. Perfect Timing Podcast got the evidence. Perfect Timing Podcast got the receipts. Perfect Timing Podcast, you got more receipts? I got more receipts. Perfect Timing Podcast, you got more evidence? I got more evidence. Shout out to my boy, I think it was Steven. We had like 3 or 4 new people in the chat this morning in the morning podcast. Ballistic. We had Ballistic, and then we had Mosh Pit. We had Mosh Pit. We had Ballistic. We had I think it was Steven in the great commentary. And one of the suggestions was perfect show clips from outside of the courthouse. And I didn't know what was even going on outside of the courthouse until I did the live stream today. So thank you to the brothers who came to the live stream today and was able to help illuminate the conversation. Y'all know that's my favorite word right now. Illumination. Illumination. Light them up, perfect.
Live in Kenosha tonight, where there was a protest in response to the trial. Nate.
Yeah, that's right, Natalie. Certainly an emotional day in court for families on both sides. Kyle Rittenhouse's mother left the courthouse today declining to speak to reporters about the case. And following her son's testimony, victims' loved ones protested, asking and calling for the 18-year-old to be convicted.
Okay, before we go forward, where we gonna start with this peanut head mom? I almost called him out. I ain't gonna call him out his name, but look at this. I know the video fucked up. So everybody at home, please go find this shit. Look at this shit. Fox 32. Look at this motherfucker code. Look at this shit. What is this? This blue? What the fuck going on with this painted on? Did you hear the way it was talking? Oh my God. Wait, one time, man. This shit is utterly ridiculous, man. God, I thought I was gonna slide past that without roasting this motherfucker, man. You're getting roasted. Look at this paint on shit. You look like Grimace, nigga. Oh my God. Hey, you got Cookie Monster coat on, nigga. You stole Cookie Monster jacket, nigga. Get the fuck up out of here, nigga. Cut the fucking up, man. God damn, man. Look at this.
Testimony, victims' loved ones protested, asking and calling for the 18-year-old to be convicted.
The testimony of victims' loved ones protested and they called for Look at my blue sweater.
A couple dozen protesters marching near the Kenosha County Courthouse seeking equal protection under the law.
Why did JoJo Rosenbaum, Anthony Huber, and Gage Grosswitz feel the need to stop an active shooter?
Although Rittenhouse testified his actions were in self-defense, victims' loved ones claim he had clear motives with his AR-15 style rifle. Devin Johnson was friends with two of the men shot. Were your friends out to start trouble that night?
No, absolutely not. JoJo had just been released from the hospital and he was suffering with mental health issues, and he had seen the protests and decided to join.
Take a deep breath out.
Hey, who got the best video? Who got the best video? Who got the best video? Oh my God, look at this video. That deserve a YouTube award. Nigga, somebody submit me for the YouTube award. Nigga, look at this shit. Nigga, look at this shit. He just got out of a mental health hospital. He seen the protest, and then we cut right into this mental health patient crying. Oh man, Kwame said he couldn't. Look at him, Kwame. Look at him. Look at him. Look at him, Kwame. Oh my God, what was he doing? So she said he's not. He's fine. He was good. He just got out of a mental health hospital. All of them motherfuckers was degenerates, man. He just got out of a mental health hospital and he seen the protest and he said, "Join." Where does that make sense? Where they do that at? Picture that. Coffee, shout out to Atlanta. Picture that. Where they do that at, huh? Come on, man.
No, absolutely not. JoJo had just been released from the hospital and he was suffering with mental health issues, and he had seen the protests and decided to join.
He can cry when he's in the cell and they lock him up and give him his jersey where he's going to be for the next 20 plus years.
Justin Blake has rallied outside the courthouse since the trial began. His nephew Jacob Blake was shot by Kenosha police 7 times and today remains paralyzed. Blake's supporters say the case highlights a disparity of how black and white suspects are treated under the law. This after nearly $500,000 has been raised towards the 18-year-old's defense fund.
Hey! Hey! What did I say? Why are we showing this story? Come on, everybody, to show the contrast how blacks and whites are treated under the law. Every time it does it again, I'm going to give all praises due to God, man. I already prayed today, but I'm going to give God some more grace, man. Some more glory, man. Oh, God is good. Thank you for this podcast, God. Thank you for everybody who listens and support, God. That's why I did this, because I love y'all. I love my people. I love America. Oh, man. Say that again one time with your peanut butter, Grimace, stole Cookie Monster sweater ass.
The law. This after nearly $500,000 has been raised towards the 18-year-old's defense fund. Blake's supporters say the case highlights his nephew Jacob Blake was shot by Kenosha police 7 times and today remains paralyzed. Blake's supporters say the case highlights a disparity of how black and white suspects are treated under the law. This
A disparity on how black and white suspects are treated under the law. A disparity on how black and white suspects are treated under the law. That's why I did this. That's why I did this. A further coffin nail is how many of you knew, I'm gonna be honest, bro. This shit I be learning. I did not know this was Jacob Blake. Y'all remember that story? That brother paralyzed. Remember his mom and them called the police. Remember all the stories that we did on how all these stories, preceding these stories, was a strag calling the police and ending up with a black man shot. So this was Jacob Blake. Do y'all remember that young black man? We forgetting. We forgetting what actually happened. Are those police officers still police officers? Are they on paid leave? Hello? Are those police officers still police officers? Are they on paid leave? Did they get fired? Were they reprimanded for shooting an unarmed person? Did you see the lieutenant governor of Wisconsin, that young brother? Very handsome, very articulate, very intelligent young brother. He said, we have a greater problem if Jacob Blake can be paralyzed and almost shot to death for having a knife. I'm going to say it 2 more times. The lieutenant governor of Wisconsin, a young black man, very attractive, very intelligent, very well-spoken, said that if Jacob Blake can be damn near shot to death over a knife and Kyle Rittenhouse is allowed to get back to Illinois with an illegal gun, we have a greater problem here. We forgot about Jacob Blake. We forgot about the reckless. See, shout out to Coffee Nino 300. If you're not subscribed to Coffee Nino is a fashion designer, a well-read, intelligent brother, but he's also a movie maker, a director, a cinematographer, a photographer. He's created he's doing live streams now, and he created a series that's magical about the Asian hate crime bill. Check that out. Check that out. Everybody in the chat, I got a lot of new people in the chat, and y'all might not know about Coffee Nino. And go check out Coffee Nino and the work he did on that Asian crime bill. See, Jacob Blake was a victim of how many murders and shootings by the police that caused these riots. Well, I'm sorry, I apologize. Not riots, but these protests by young people for 18 months, uprisings across the world, culminated in the George Floyd murder, where someone put a knee on a police officer. Three officers' knees on George Floyd. One of them had a knee on his neck. I would love to know what happened to those other officers. Are those other officers going to do some time? What are you talking about, Perfect? I'm talking about Coffee Nino's movie, the Asian hate crime bill. I'm talking about Jacob Blake. I'm talking about Kyle Rittenhouse. I'm not talking about the third leg hut. I'm talking about the lack of concern for people who look like me and Coffee. I'm talking about nobody talking about Jacob Blake. But the Asian hate crime bill was steamrolled and passed. But after all the killings of black men by police, stranglings, shootings, unjustly, no legislation. I showed you Cory Booker and Tim Scott let the legislation die. There was legislation. There was legislation on the chokeholds. There was legislation on defunding the police. There was legislation put together, bipartisan legislation, Democrats and Republicans, 2 black men, Cory Booker, Tim Scott. Both of them presidential potential candidates. They let the legislation die, but the Asian hate crime bill passes. The Asian hate crime bill passes. What does that mean in effect? That means in effect that Jacob Blake is forgotten about. Ahmaud Arbery, Philando Castile, Say their names. Say their names. Say their names. Where the Asians at that's dead for the Asian hate crime bill? Say their names. Did they get a Schroeder judge? Because none of those police officers are in prison. None of those police officers facing any time. That's why I'm showing this. Did y'all hear what they said at the end of this story? To show the contrast between the way black suspects and white suspects are treated in the judicial system. Right before deliberations, the judge dismisses the gun charge. My daddy, I talked to my daddy today. My daddy said, D, he gonna go to jail for the gun. I said, Daddy, the judge dismissed. How he dismissed the gun? The gun is illegal. Not only, my father said, not only is the gun illegal, Dennis, but he crossed state lines with the gun. How they dismiss the gun? With a loophole? How many black people ever got a loophole? Loopholes don't work that way for black people. Loopholes don't work in a way for us to get out. Loopholes work in a way to close a noose around our neck. In case you didn't know. Coffee says, thanks for that, bro. It's not a thank you. Coffee Nino spent a ton of money, a ton of time, and a ton of effort, just like me with my Perfect Man show, because God gave him a gift, a skill, and a calling. Thank you, Coffee Nino. Shit. This what we do is work. Thank you, brother, for having the bravery and the talent to present it so eloquently. An argument. That's man shit. Working on some new stuff. And they talking about Elijah McCain. Oh, shit. In Arizona. I lived in Arizona. I know about the McCains. And that dog. Ooh-wee. Tiggle bitties. Oh, man, I love some tiggle bitties. I do. I love a dirty foot, fat bottom white woman. Shout out Dave Chappelle. Shout out all the dirty foot, fat bottom white women in the world who love us to death. Shout out Dave Chappelle. Hey, let's get back to the video, man. I know it's poor quality, but I want to hear more. I was moved by that because that's why I've been showing this, and it feels good that someone else has been able to see why this case is important. It's not about whether or not, Kyle, it's about the contrast and the way suspects are treated and how the prosecution here was given a very narrow pathway to conviction. And that was not the same for R. Kelly and Bill Cosby. Creative style of prosecution. King Kong Kung Fu is what I called it. 3 trials. The judge was basically non-existent in the Cosby case. 3 trials. Do y'all remember? It was hung jury. Cosby was going home. That's why he did that little fallback when he was smiling. Cosby was going home. Cosby was going home. They did another trial. It's like another trial. Do y'all know how many times y'all tried this man on a deposition that never should have came open? And you know how they convict him in the final third last trial? They allowed 5 women to testify with uncorroborated stories who never told nobody whatever happened to them. That's not how the law works. That's how loopholes work for black people. That's how loopholes, they use the loophole to say, nah, these bitches can come testify. Hey, y'all, I want y'all to go subscribe to somebody that's not in my chat that I watch, that I get a lot of learning from, but don't go over there acting like fucking dickheads and say you came from over here because I fucking have a problem with it. But his name is Shaka Amos. And Shaka Amos had a powerful, powerful live stream last night. And it just showed how men have to be. And I'm not going to say the title of it, but I want y'all to go check out Shaka Amos' live stream last night. And Shaka Amos, it's like God is speaking to men, wake men up, because Shaka Amos is talking about R. Kelly and Bill Cosby. I'm like, hold on. You sound like perfect timing over there, Shaka Amos. Great content. I won't talk about it because it's a sensitive topic. Shaka Amos has the power to talk about those things, but check that out, man. Powerful, powerful content, man. Coffee said the Rittenhouse dude has the same ability as any mass shooter in the history of school shootings. And like the manic who shot all of those people in New Mexico at Walmart, Elijah McCain was a young black kid killed by 3 police as he headed from work, walking home. They stopped talking about him. Man, that's sad. Save a prayer for Elijah McCain and his family, bro. That's horrible, man. That's horrible. That's why we doing this, Coffee, to show the contrast on how suspects are treated. That's why we doing this, Coffee. It's work. This is work. People be playing, trying to get money, trying to get bitches. This is work. Some men build, man. This is work. Let's do this work, y'all.
After nearly $500,000 has been raised towards the 18-year-old's defense fund.
We've never seen a black or brown defendant be given the kind of legal disposition that this defendant has been given.
And protesters tonight were also upset at many.
That's all I've said from the beginning. That's all I said from the beginning. And that's not to say it's right or wrong. He said we've never seen a black or brown defendant given this type of disposition by the defense or government ever. And that's not to say that what's happening to Kyle is wrong. I believe what Kyle is, the government is representing Kyle correctly. The burden of proof should be on the state. It should have been like that for every black man too. Everybody listening and the white men coming in are thinking that I want Kyle to go to jail. I don't want Kyle to go to jail. Kyle was invited there. Kyle was empowered to be there. I don't think Kyle was guilty. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about the contrast and how black men, my prayer is that the white men who watch me, all my white brothers, you finally can see the difference, bro. You finally can see the contrast on how we're treated by a judge and how your son is treated by a judge, and that we need to fix it, bro. As a family of Americans beyond race, because the women are shitting upon fatherhood and shitting upon men. And as long as we allow race to separate us as Americans, then women are going to keep kicking our ass. I think it's foolish for us to allow race to separate us on these type of issues. I don't want Kyle to not get the justice that he received. I want my son to receive the same level of justice that Kyle got. That's what I want. I'm gonna play that again. What Coffee said, they took Rittenhouse to eat Burger King after he was questioned. And where did they take the guy who killed all them people in the church? Didn't they take him to go get a burger too? Oh yeah, this is program, y'all. This is programming, y'all.
Suspects are treated under the law. This after nearly 500 Blake supporters say the case highlights a disparity of how black and white suspects are treated under the law. This after nearly $500,000 has been raised towards the 18-year-old's defense fund.
We've never seen a black or brown defendant be given the kind of legal disposition that this defendant has been given.
And protesters tonight were also upset at many of the judge's rulings, including not allowing prosecutors to refer to the men killed as
Man, we upset with your beard and that. I swear all the judges are very upset. Well, the public is upset with this motherfucker's beard. If you don't wrap that goddamn oily shit off your motherfucking face, and if you don't take Cookie Monster sweater off, many public are very upset. The minute this nigga even got the lips, he even got the mouth. He got the mouth like a muppet. You have to make your mouth to talk like this. Many of the public are very upset with the judge's verdict and the decision of the judge. He didn't sound like this when he was talking regular. When he not on the camera, he don't even sound like this. When he on the camera, he sound like this. Many of the public are very upset that I'm a Muppet and I choose to be a Muppet on my day off. I was Cookie Monster as a 6-year-old and I'm not going to stop being Cookie Monster ever in my life. Cookie. Hey, Coffee do fashion. Hey, Coffee wouldn't let that nigga go on TV like that. Hey, Coffee wouldn't let that nigga go on TV like that. looked like somebody slapped him with a can of oil. Slapped that boy with a can of oil. He said, I want a full beard. Give me the Gorilla Glue with some black paint. Hey, Tina. Hey, Tito, is there my bitches over there on the curb? Slow down, Tito, damn! Y'all gonna make me hurt myself. Y'all gonna make me hurt myself. Is there my bitches on the curb? Slow down, Tito. Yo. This man looking like Morris Day nephew. He looking like Jerome Rome. He looking like Jerome. Question. Can anybody? House quake? Question. Can anybody tell me about the quake? Bullshit. Can't get off until you make the house shake. Now everybody clap your hands. Come on now. House quake. House quake. You gotta paint your whole face. Everybody clap your hands. Come on now. House quake. House quake. You gotta paint your whole face. Now everybody clap your hands. Bullshit. You can't get off until you paint your whole face. I'm hurt myself. My back is killing me, but I gotta stop laughing. Bullshit. You can't get off until you paint your whole face. Everybody clap your hands. Come on now. Housequake. And that would bump in the bay. I don't know if y'all know, but that was slapping the bay. When that would come on in the Suzuki with my dad, man, I love that housequake, man. Bullshit. And they would play the cuss words. They would always pretend like Prince would get away with murder. They would always censor Prince afterwards. But Prince would get away with his cuss words on the radio, on the video. Housequake. Question. Can anybody tell me about the quake? Bullshit. You can't get off until you paint your whole face. Why that nigga had his face painted like that, bro? Okay. Hey, my Toya tutor, my sister in the building. Hey, Toya, where you been? Hey, I was beating up a word so bad. How do you say that word? Tumultuous? I was trying to refer to the tension outside of the courtroom, and I was saying, I didn't know the tension outside, or I didn't know the courtroom. It was so tumultuous, and I blew past it because I didn't know how to say the whole word. And I was like, "It's Toya." I said, I whisper. I kind of looked like nigga, like I could see you, nigga, like. I was looking, nigga, like, is Toya in here, nigga? And then she see me just blow by that word, like, nigga, did you just say I can't even say it, blood. Like, okay, tumultuous. Yeah, thank you. See, Toya the tutor in the bell. Y'all go subscribe. Tumultuous. When people say it, when you hear it on the news, it sounds easy to say until you try to say it. So everybody at home laughing right now, say it to yourself 5 times real fast in the mirror, motherfucker. See if you can say it, and then use it in context in a sentence like Perfect tried to do. See if you can use tumultuous in a sentence properly and say it, articulate it properly and use proper context. You know what I'm saying? Oh, I said it right. Thank you very much. I will include that into the lexicon of the Perfect Man show. You know what I'm saying? But I destroyed that word. I was nowhere near that. I had 4, 5 T's. I had so many T's in there. I didn't even know it had a woo, I beat that word up, boy. Oh man, I beat that word up. Let's see. I was saying, let's see. Hey, one more time, man. One more time. Quavi Nino, we got our own fashion. Quavi Nino, who dressed him, Quavi? One more time before I go to the next video. Who dressed him, Quavi? One time, Quavi. What is this, Quavi? What is the tie? The tie is wrong. What is this? Like, is this like it ain't even like a V. It's like a blouse, like a hoop neck or something like that. What is that? You know what I'm saying? And then he put this butterfly 1970 polyester, you know what I'm saying? And then look, this is what I'm talking about. Housequake. You gotta paint your whole face. Come on now, Quavi. Everybody clap your hands. Come on now. Housequake. And did you hear his voice though? Did you hear his voice though? I wasn't picking on it. Did you hear his voice though?
Not allowing prosecutors to refer to the men killed as
I have a blue shirt, the same color as Cookie Monster. I painted my whole face to look very debonair. But my name is Black Man Debonair, and I'm Cookie Monster's great big uncle. Housequake! I just had to show one more time. Coffee, what was that whole outfit, Coffee? Okay, the color scheme is right. Okay, Coffee said the color scheme is right. I've been going in on the brother. Okay. Just the beard and the face is I didn't even mean to pause it on the downstroke. The tie is okay. I'm gonna let it go. Cause that shit, man, got me tickled. Oh man, that shit funny as hell, man. I'm gonna let it go, Coffee. I'll let him live, man. I'll let him live, man. Oh man, that shit funny as hell, man. I'll let him live, man. Woo wee. Okay, Grimace. Okay, Cookie Monster. I'll let you live, bro. Let's see. We did that one. Rally for Jacob Blake. Let's see. This is similar. I wonder if it's any different.
While we're marching tonight, to keep the victims and their lives and their memories alive in this city and alive in this country, all over this country.
Why did a 17-year-old come to Kenosha armed with a gun and turn off the lights?
At the end of this case, we want everybody to know that this city, county, and state has blood on their hands.
We remember them. If you just seek freedom and peace, that's enough for me.
Yes, sir.
I want you to take a moment and think about JoJo. Think about the countless numbers of black and brown and white were injured by violence and racism in our country and around the world. Tonight could be a change night. Tonight could be a transformative night. Tonight could be a night that we let our light so shine. As long as we remember them. They live. As long as we remember them.
There been some people out there doing the work.
Computers.
There been some people out there doing the work. I'm proud of that brother, man. He been saying some good stuff, man. It's some people out there doing the work.
Lives matter, but we not all.
I'm not calling you that.
You have a sign here in Kenosha where there's no BLM
sign, then it has to
Leaders of Kenosha, the Blakes, refer to them by the name that they actually go by, okay? Yes, we believe Black Lives Matter, but we not all part of that organization. Quit doing that shit.
I'm not doing that.
You have a fucking sign that says it. What does that have to do with Kenosha?
Because they came out and they did the last time I was out here. I've been screamed at.
I just have one question. I just have one question. I just have one question. A 17-year-old need with an AR-15. Can you explain that? Okay. Can you explain to me? I just want you to answer that one question. What does an underage minor need with an AR-17? Period. 15. What is the AR-15 he has a 17-year-old. Can you explain that part to me? Self-defense from who? He's a minor.
Because you never,
He's a
like,
self-defense. He's not
Tell
from
him to
here.
sign up for the National Guard.
Ma'am, he's not
Tell him
from
to sign
here.
up for the
So
police
what is he
department.
coming up here to be self-defended from? He's not from here.
he was up here cleaning the community up.
No, he does not live here. He does not live here.
Do you live in Kenosha? Do you live in Kenosha?
Ma'am, he does not live here.
Are you a resident
There's
of
nothing
Kenosha?
here for him to clean up. Where does he? I don't have nothing here to clean up.
But there was graffiti and there was stuff on
Okay,
the
so you clean up a graffiti with an AR-15? Is that what
He
you're
didn't
telling
have
me?
the AR-15. It's all the props in the
No, he had it, period. When his mother came here and talked him off here. Were you not following the story? You couldn't have been. His mother dropped him off here. His mother dropped him off here.
I told my pop that too. His mother dropped him off there. His mother dropped him off there. That was a trip. His mother dropped him off there. Who knows? Somebody else new in the building. Who knows, man? Hey, everybody with a ranch, when the new people come in, make sure you instruct the new people on the protocol. We need the new people to go ahead, subscribe, hit the bell, hit the notification bell. I've noticed a lot of people that I like on YouTube. If you don't hit the bell, you won't be notified when they go live. We go live every day. Who knows? Thank you for joining the chat. Let's read what Who Knows had to say about the conversation, and we welcome you. You are ignorant to the fact, my friend. Most of his family lives in Kenosha. All of his friends live in Kenosha. He worked in Kenosha. He only lives 20 minutes from Kenosha. So I don't know if Who Knows is referring to someone in the chat or if he's referring to the video, but we are clear on that. Who Knows? We've been watching the trial the whole time, and that actually was clarified in the trial when Kyle testified himself. He actually was able to clarify why he was there in his relation. He actually said, I don't know if Who Knows if you know, he actually said his father lives in Kenosha, and that's what he said, that he's familiar with that area, and that he referred, when he testified, he told the prosecution because his father has a residence there, that he considers himself actually a resident of Kenosha. That's what Kyle testified to. And my father, I talked to my father today. I love him very much. So I would visit my father on the weekends, and I would consider myself a resident. I think that was an issue with the Trayvon Martin trial, that they didn't look at Trayvon Martin as a resident of that establishment where his father owned a home and where he lived. So Kyle has said that I have residency. I actually have residency in Kenosha because my father lived here and I come. As a child, I spend weekends with my dad here. So I give him that. So I don't know if you thought that we were saying something different. I was referring to whoever was having that conversation. He also sent a lie. Kyle Rittenhouse did not bring the rifle there. He bought it for a friend who lives in Kenosha. Oh, I didn't know that. My understanding is that his mom brought him there with the rifle, so he borrowed the rifle once he got there. Thank you for that clarification. So we getting more and more information every day. Coffee said, enjoying but not with good intent. His grandpa also lived there. That's what Who Knows said. His grandparents also. He definitely has a residency there. He definitely has a reason to be there. This was not Call of Duty video game. Also, Who Knows and Coffee. What I've said, Who Knows, is in context. If what also was going on is we had lost in American City. We had already lost in American City. So in the Midwest, you got a different type of American citizens. You got different type of patriots in red states and blue states. You know what I'm saying? We had Let's Go Brandon was in the chat earlier. I told Brandon, if you're a conservative, if you're a Republican and Trump, you welcome here. You know what I'm saying? So in the context, we already had lost an American city. There were already Americans calling for Trump to go into Chaz, because Chaz, they had burnt down a police station. And what did they do when they took over this area? Did they do some free lunch program like the Black Panthers? No, they started selling drugs and people were getting killed and women were getting hurt. So in the same context, as people are saying that Kyle is a vigilante, you have to remember what the country was going through at that time. The country was going through protests and cities were being burnt down. We were losing control of cities. Police were going home. We were losing police stations. It was just more than Chaz. Chaz was the one that we was told about. So certain men in certain areas got together and said to themselves, you cannot have this American city. And if you listen to if you listen to the what's the word I'm looking for, Toya? If you listen to the what do they call when you on the stand? If you listen to the testimony of the police officer, the police officer said they were overwhelmed and it was a war zone. They welcomed Kyle and people of that ilk. People of that ilk, there are laws in the Constitution that afford for militia and for protecting yourself, like that white lady just said. So I believe that certain individuals have said, and if we don't do that, then America could go away. Certain people said you can't have this city. Certain people said, you can't have this city. This will not be Chaz. And they were out there that night stopping them from burning down shit. Now, you got to put it in context that they had already taken over a city and they had already burnt down a police station. Sunclaw said last night that what they were attempting to do was to blow up a gas station. They were going to light that trash can on fire and blow up the gas station. The white girl just said that her friend just got out of a mental hospital. He didn't get out of a mental hospital and join the protest. He got out of a mental hospital and joined the melee. Hello, he joined the melee. He had these three white boys that was shot, they had no reference of BLM or Jacob Blake. They just wanted to destroy shit. They just wanted to destroy shit. And if they would have been allowed to, they would have turned that shit into Chaz. Let me get back in the chat. Let me get back in the chat. Let me see what my brothers are saying. Coffee said it does not matter. If he borrowed it, he did the act. We can't use other collateral matters to take away from the facts. I'm not calling, and then who knows, I'm not calling him a hero for taking people's lives, but I do commend him for wanting to help out a neighborhood. It seems from footage, he was friendly to everybody. Coffee said yes, his mother took him there, and if he had gotten killed, then they would have blamed it on black people. They're trying them, and Black Lives Matter. That's true. That's true. If he would have died, that would have been on the hands of BLM. And that would have been politically advantageous. Ooh, Toya the Tutor, can I get some for that? It would have been politically advantageous. 300 Warriors say, so what's the solution in your opinion? Avoid solution. So solution, I don't know if we're ready to discuss solutions right now. I am an action solution-based person, but right now it's incremental steps. And today I'm excited because in the broadcast, what we're understanding is that other black men are coming to the realization that I've come to. And before we get to solutions, what we've learned on this podcast is you have to perform a self-assessment and have a complete understanding of what the facts are on the ground. What's prohibited us from making great decisions and making solutions is being honest about the facts on the ground. So now that I hear other black men, and my goal right now is not so much a solution, but getting people to understand the contrast. So me hearing the Kermit the Frog, Cookie Monster sweater stealing motherfucker with the painted face talk about the contrast. And then that brother who was protesting talk about how black people don't get afforded the same defenses. This is what I said by King Kong Kung Fu. It's a very colorful term. It sounds good, but I'm a host. I'm a podcast host. So I got to come up with shit like that to draw your interest. King Kong Kung Fu refers to the style of prosecution. Narrow path to conviction. So in the beginning, right now, 300, I just want black people to be more political, to be more knowledgeable, intelligible about these issues. Like Kwafi Nino, like Kwafi Nino was a gym. What would inspire Kwafi Nino to create such powerful imagery about legislation? This is what black man is coming to. I need more Kwafi Ninos. I need more Kwafi Ninos creating powerful imagery about legislation. The fucking video is about legislation. Do you get that? Y'all get it? His video is about legislation. That's what the fuck we own. It's beautiful, it's powerful, it's moving, but the fucking video is about legislation. And you fucking sleep. That you need to be understanding how this shit work. How legislation, I'm gonna be quiet. I'm gonna be quiet. I'm gonna be quiet. I'm gonna be quiet. I'm gonna get all passionate and shit. Legislation, bruh. Four dozen people were killed at a BLM riot the year 2020, and not a single case was publicized. Coffee said, we are talking about that night. What happened? No deflections here. Stay on topic, bro. Coffee says, stay on topic. Coffee, hey, it's a lot of people outside the courtroom, but I'll tell you, Coffee might be mad at me because I'll be honest, Coffee, I don't believe. I mean, I hear my dad said the same thing. Like, my dad was mad, like, he got to go to jail, like, because black men won't even go to jail. But I'm like, man, I don't know. I can't. If I put it in context, I can't honestly. If I was on the jury, number one, I could not convict Kyle of first degree at all. I can't give him first degree. I cannot. Rosenbaum was out there threatening to kill people. They're trying to blow up a gas station. We already lost Chaz. I can't give him first degree at all. First degree is off the table for me. So if it comes down to me, and if I'm voting with my blackness, and I say, okay, he over responded, then what is that? We're like 2 years probation. He going home. He already has privilege. Let's go back to the article. He already has privilege. Let's go back to the article. He already has privilege. This is what's so sick and perverted about the whole thing. That's why I said this is why I said it's all about the jury instructions. The judge was even confused by his own jury instructions. The judge said that if Kyle has self-defense in any of the killings, then you cannot find him guilty of first degree in any of the killings. But the charges are already as such that he is already given privilege in the charges. It makes no sense. It makes no sense. The jury instructions, the victims, the deliberation about victims, deliberation about this gun has been thrown out. Look at this. That gun is thrown out. That gun is not available. That was a slam dunk. That gun is thrown out. That's what this whole video today is about. My daddy asked me, he said, D, what about the gun? The gun got thrown out. The gun was thrown out right before deliberation. That gun right there will not be included in the deliberation because of a loophole. But let's get back to the fact that it's privilege. Let's get back to privilege. Y'all heard on privilege when we played the video, right? Kyle has privilege when it comes to Rosenbaum. What do you mean, Perfect? What do you mean Kyle has privilege when it comes to Rosenbaum? In closing arguments, Assistant District Attorney Thomas Binger challenged Rittenhouse claim of self-defense and gunning down Anthony Hoover, 26, and Joseph Rosenbaum, 36. They enjoy the thrill of going around and telling people what to do, without the courage and the honor to back it up, without the legal authority to do so, he said. Rittenhouse, 18, is accused of intentional homicide in the slaying of Huber and reckless homicide in the death of Rosenbaum, 36. Rosenbaum, he is reckless homicide. Now you have to listen closely, brothers. You have to listen closely, brothers, in order to understand why I'm so passionate about those charges. I'm passionate about those charges because the judge said we are not going to call them victims. We're not going to call them victims because they were looters and rioters. Now, if Joseph Rosenbaum can't be called a victim because he attacked Kyle, but you charge Kyle on first degree on the 26-year-old, then that means the 26-year-old is actually a victim by your charges. The 26-year-old has to be a victim by the way you charge the case. But you can't call none of them victims. The judge said you can't call none of them victims, even though he only has privilege in the Rosenbaum case. But the judge said you can't call none of them victims. Then the jury instructions, which are very convoluted and extremely complicated, the prosecution said, take the instructions back and read them again, because when I listened to the judge, I got confused. The judge got confused when he read jury instructions. The judge stopped. The judge said, I'm in the middle of a sentence and I don't like it. So the prosecution said, go back and reread the jury instructions so you can be clear on how to come to a verdict. Basically, what it comes down to, if you find that Kyle was defending himself at all that night, if you find that Kyle was defending himself or helping anyone that night, then first degree is off the table. First degree is off the table. If you find that Kyle was defending anybody that night, first degree is off the table. Let's go to the gun. Let's go to the gun. Moments before closing arguments began Monday, Judge Bruce Schroeder dismissed a count of illegal possession of a dangerous weapon by the person younger than 18. The misdemeanor punishable by 9 months in jail was considered one of the prosecutor's strongest counts. No one disputes that Rittenhouse was 17 when he walked the streets of Kenosha armed with the Smith & Wesson MP-15 rifle, part of the genre of firearms modeled after the iconic AR-15. It wasn't, this is what Sunclaw been saying, it wasn't an AR-15, it was an MP. Or the MP, what did you see? Did I miss you? I blow a spot like little sisters. Go on, grit your teeth. Go on, bite your nails to your cuticles. Keith Murray, like Murray, my lyrics be the most beautiful. Junior Mafia, thick like Luke. Ladies, grab your, girl, grab your. To the little one, pulling over in the Land Rover, playing Big Wooly style with the chauffeur. Yeah, I mean, stack the green wall between the lines. Go on, grit your teeth. Go on, bite your nails to your cuticles. Go on, grit your teeth. Go on, bite your nails to your cuticles. Like Murray, my lyrics be the most beautiful. Junior Mafia, like Luke dances. Man. Mere punishable by up to 9 months in jail was considered one of the prosecution's strongest counts. No one disputes that Rittenhouse was 17 when he walked the streets of Kenosha armed with the Smith & Wesson MP. 15 rifle, part of a genre of firearms modeled off their iconic AR-15 long gun, was initially developed for military use. But Schroeder is the judge. Schroeder cited an exception in the law dealing with hunting, age of the defendant, and the length of the barrel for dismissing the count. The reason observers believe the misdemeanor gun charge was a slam dunk is because it's not disputed. I'm sick as a dog. It's not disputed that Kyle Rittenhouse was 70 and he possessed a gun. NBC News' Dan Kelleher said, but the criminal statute itself is more complicated than that. The statute to apply the defendant to violate a hunting regulation that only applied to people under 16. Y'all hear this shit? The defense discovered what was initially an error in legislation, just like the Asian crime bill. The Kyle Rittenhouse cannot violate a law that only applies to someone under the age of 16. Rittenhouse still faces 5 other stemming from the fatal shooting. Oreo said not guilty. Not guilty. R. Kelly. Not guilty. R. Kelly. Guilty. Yeah, man, I couldn't justify a first degree conviction against Coffee. I love you, but I couldn't justify a first degree conviction against this young man after what happened in Chaz. After I watched the video of Joseph Rosenbaum threatening life and death, now that we the guys that just got out of mental hospital, that they were trying to blow up a gas station, that Chaz had already been lost. These were not black people. They were not familiar with Jacob Blake. They were not BLM. They were not out there protesting the wrong that happened to Jacob Blake. They just wanted to do wrong. Just wanted to blow shit up. And Kyle, and the police testified it was a war zone. The police was terrified. See, this is the reason of defund the police. Who really gonna pay for defund the poor people in the inner city? Because white men like Kyle, they got guns. They gonna be able to protect themselves. But when it ain't no more police, then who gonna protect the inner city? When Kyle and those people feel like, you know what, next time I'm not going into the inner city to protect the inner city, guess what's gonna happen? It's gonna turn into Chad. in the Chaz. And you could dislike me, you could disagree with me, but they said you can't have this American city. You can't have this American city. They were all wrong. I agree with that. I agree they was all wrong. But sometimes, you know, somebody got to be more wrong than the other person. Copper. Fuck, man. Help me out with that word, man. Put in the chat how you say that, man. I'll be having some creative. I had Bionic Bastard. That's a good ass name. Bionic Bastard. I had Mosh Pit Madness. Man, we got some hell of a creative people, man. Shout out to all the creativity. Man, I don't even know how to say that name. Copper Grudge, protest riot again. Is that what you're asking for? Exactly. Who knows? A lot of people this day don't even know the people Kyle killed were all white. Who knows? Welcome to the party. Who knows? Welcome to the party. Who knows? This is the Perfect Man Show. I'm live right now on 3 channels. It's called simulcasting. I'm live on Perfect Timing Podcast Live. I'm actually live on a second YouTube channel called Perfect Timing Podcast Live. Perfect Timing Podcast. I'm also live on Facebook called under Patrick Potter. So y'all can watch me in 3 places right now. Welcome to the motherfucking party, fellas. Please put in the proper pronouns that you prefer to be called by. Copper and everybody that joined, put in the pronouns that you like to be called by, because I don't know if you're a male, female, and I want to respect you, and I respect your time and efforts for joining the panel and chatting it up with Perfect Timing. You see a lot of my brothers in the chat. You got Coffee Nino. He's a great content creator. Please subscribe to him. He created a great expose on the Asian hate crime bill. I'm sure you guys will just love that. So let's see what Copper says. Copper says, you do realize they were white, correct? He does realize that, correct? Yes, Copper, I said that in my first show. I do realize that the people he shot was white. I do. I really do. That's why I said this whole time, to me, I've shown this as a contrast. That's why I was so happy about the news article that I showed today that focusing on the conscience. And if what you may have came in on is where I was explaining to my brother Coffee that I don't think I can find Kyle guilty, bro. I just don't. I just can't see another Chaz. And you know what I explained to people, Copper? And Oreo said not guilty again. Oreo Copper, make sure y'all subscribe, man. Subscribe, guy. I got 2 channels in Facebook. What was I gonna say? I was just saying something about him being not guilty, but he has to know, right? He say he has to know, right? Yeah, I know, bro. I know. I'm with you. And Oreo said, not guilty. I don't care what color they were. I'm not into the racism. Yeah, Coffee ain't with the racism. If you are racist and you have an agenda, I will call it out. I don't know. Even let's say Coffee, let's say Kyle has some bias against blacks or browns. I don't believe what he did that night had anything to do with that bias. I just don't. He didn't shoot anyone black. He didn't look like he was looking specifically for anyone of any particular color. He was looking for bad actors. He was looking for people starting fires and people hurting and fucking up shit. He wasn't specifically looking for a color, which is why he didn't shoot nobody who was black. He wasn't fixated on race. I think this country has deteriorated way further than we want to admit. It's a lot more scarier out here than we want to admit. Unfortunately, it's a lot worse than that. It's deteriorated way worse than race. One example is this 17-year-old boy shooting 4 white men who are disenfranchised. I tell people all the time, I see white men, blonde, blue-eyed, very attractive, homeless. All 3 of these boys, young, white, attractive, blonde hair, blue-eyed, mental health issues, homeless. It's a thing going on in the Midwest. This ain't about color. This about poverty. This about poverty. Why was the guy coming out of a mental health hospital and why did he get into a protest? It's about poverty. Rosenbaum was trying to commit suicide via protest. Me and Sunclaw showed the video. Rosenbaum was running up on people with guns talking about shoot me, kill me, shoot me, kill me. This is a mental health issue. It ain't got to do with black and white. Everything now, it's about mental health and it's about the judicial system. It's about the lack of equality in the judicial system, and it's about the mental health of the people in the Midwest. Why was a 17-year-old, why his mom bring him there? Why was him? Why white families are separating like this? Why are white families coming apart? What you should intimate is that the mom and dad is divorced and that this 17-year-old boy got some issues from the divorce. This is what's happening in America. America's crumbling. Black families, white families, we can't do the race thing. We can't do the race thing. This is about father power on this podcast. This young boy, if he would have had his father in his life, do anybody think that he would have been out there? Because his dad wasn't out there. If he would have had a father like the men in the 5.0 cool table, we would have found a better way. We would have found a better way to help, to protect, to assist without putting my son in danger. I would have spoke to him. I would have taught him. This is what this is about, father power. But I can't find Kyle guilty, bro. Judge Schroeder, I got to give Judge Schroeder his props. The prosecution did a good job. They did, but the way this case went, I would want my son to be treated like this, man. I would want my son treated like this. I would want the judge to remind the prosecution and the proof is on you. I would want the judge to remind the jury that my son is going home. Quabi said they put him up to it knowingly and wanted to cover it up by the law. It's an accountability issue. It is accountability. It's accountability on so many levels, though. But just like the Travis Scott issue, who is accountable? See, this is what the way this is so beautiful is because all of the white men who are coming in the chat, I want that same energy for Travis Scott. Because who truly is accountable? Who is accountable? That's what the judge is saying when he says, don't call them victims. These people, grown men, say, I love, this is a case about man shit. Rosenbaum is a grown-ass man. 36 years old talking about kill me. Rosenbaum is accountable for himself. Hello. It is about accountability. Everybody is accountable for themselves. Them motherfuckers shouldn't have been out there trying to blow shit up. As soon as I seen people running around with guns and shit, and I'm not black, and I'm out here just having fun, take your ass in the house, man. They was out there up to no good. It is accountability. Everybody as grown men, the same thing that applies that the prosecution said about Kyle Rittenhouse and said about the rioters. He said that Kyle Rittenhouse was not the only one with self-defense privilege. Well, guess what, motherfuckers? You wasn't the only one with the ability to retreat. Take your ass in the house. You ain't had no gun. The fuck you argue somebody with a gun for? As a grown-ass man, if you die, then take accountability. This America, bro. Come on, man. They got to take accountability as men. They have to take accountability as men. You attack a jump kick man. Rosenbaum, they attack somebody with a gun. Now, it turns out it's a 17-year-old. You 36 years old. You trying to grab a gun from a 17-year-old kid, and he knew he was 17 years old. He has to take accountability, which is why Kyle was not charged of first degree in that case. It's accountability for everybody. These is grown-ass men. Kyle is the only boy here. There's so much being left out because he's white. It's okay to demonize whiteness. But if we do that, then we don't get the real knowledge. We don't get the real benefit from it. If we just demonize the whiteness. Kyle's the only child. 16, 17 years old, 36-year-old grown man talk about killing somebody else, grown-ass man, mental health. Kyle is the only child in this whole equation, and he is the only one there in a positive capacity. The other guys who know nothing came there to start shit. Kyle was a child, and he's there to help. That's the facts of the case. But if we demonize whiteness and we say white men are evil and all white men are racist, then we don't look at the facts on the ground. Rosenbaum is 36 and attacked a 17-year-old boy who came out there to help and protect his grandparents, his father's property in it. They out of pocket, bro. They out of pocket. Coffee said, I would have loved to see what the police would have done if Kyle had not shot those two people. Would they have looked as a threat? The police gave them water. The police knew they were out there. The police was telling those guys where to stand. They were in communication with the police the whole night. We show video of them talking to the police. Kyle spoke with the police. There's video of Kyle speaking with the police with the police was telling them to stay on. The police was telling them where to go. The police gave them water. The police told them, thank you for coming out here. That's facts too. The police testified and said it was a war zone. The police were overwhelmed. We already lost an American city. We were pretending with another Chaz. Did y'all see the police officer testify? Y'all want me to bring that up? The police officer was testifying, man. They was overwhelmed. They was terrified. Y'all saw the videos that night. It was a melee over there. We had already lost an American city. With the gun on the streets, would they have shot him? I wonder why they didn't shoot him too. I wonder why they didn't stop him too. I really did. And it comes back to privilege, I believe. I believe he received privilege because of his whiteness. I believe he's receiving privilege now. I can believe he's innocent and still believe in white privilege. I'm a very complex person. I hope people don't get mad at me. I hope you understand. I can believe that Kyle was innocent. I understand that there's racism. I do. I understand that there's a such thing as white privilege. I do. I truly do. And I do believe he's benefiting from white privilege. But I don't believe he's benefiting in a way that is just. I just believe he's getting a just trial because he's a white male. And if it was somebody black, he would not receive a just trial. He would be receiving the King Kong Kung Fu style of prosecution. He would be crucified in the court of public opinion, just like Travis Scott. Hey, Santa Claus said peace. And somebody else new in the chat, man. Thank you to all the new people in the chat. Please subscribe, man. I'm live on 3 channels right now. Perfect Timing Podcast, Perfect Timing Podcast Live. I'm also live on Facebook under Patrick Potter. You can find all of the instructions in the description. This is EGOME, my brother in the building. EGOME. Kyle is innocent. It was self-defense. EGOME, I would have to agree with you on that.
Chat, peace to the panel.
Peace. Oh, Sunclair, you coming in crispy loud, bro. Crispy loud.
Yeah, I ended up raising the volume on this microphone.
Oh, so you didn't find your other mic. You just boosted the volume on that mic.
Yeah, because for some reason I had the volume set too low.
You're sounding good, man. You're sounding like Dan Rather.
I appreciate it.
What you got to
he was
add
gonna get
to
off.
the convo?
He was gonna get off.
Oh, man. What you mean? Was the verdict came in? I've been waiting. I ain't seen no.
I already knew what the verdict should be, and it came out to what it should be.
The verdict didn't come back yet, right?
Oh, it hasn't come out yet?
No verdict yet. No verdict.
If he doesn't come out innocent of murder, then it's an unfair trial.
I agree.
Now, understand this. If he were black, they would put him underneath the prison. They would have already came back days ago with the guilty verdict.
Book him down.
But if you look at these facts, he is not guilty of murder.
Oh, man. You're going to be mad at us, Unclaw.
When you have motherfuckers because that's what I'm going to call them. I'm not going to call them victims. I'm going to call them motherfuckers. Are trying to blow up a gas station. And the prosecutor is then questioning Kyle and asking him, what if a round from your AR went and hit an innocent person? It was nighttime. There were these protests. Everybody who was any decent person would have been indoors. These motherfuckers were trying to blow up a gas station. They would have killed themselves and everybody in the surrounding vicinity. You blow up a damn gas station, how much damage do you think is going to happen? They stop people from blowing up a fucking gas station. And the ones who got killed, yes, that people are using their records against them. And I say, go ahead and use their records against them. Because what is good for the goose is even better for the gander. Because they're always using a black boy or a black man's past against him. Well, if they can use it against him, they could use him against these white boys. And perfect. So you did end up finding the that one of them was let out of a mental hospital recently?
Well, a young lady said that in the interview I just played.
Yeah, I was not able to find it. That's why I didn't talk about it, but I had heard about that. That one of them came off of a psych ward, basically from suicide watch. He was trying to kill himself. That's why he was in the psych ward. So he went over there to that protest looking to get murdered.
Correct.
Or I should say suicide by cop. But in this case, it would have been suicide by Kyle.
Oh no, I thought it was back. Oh God, worry. It was back. I thought it was back. It's not back. What is this right here? That's not okay. Go ahead. I'm sorry for interrupting. I thought they had a verdict. I thought they were back with a verdict.
You know,
I thought
and it's interesting too. The prosecutors were saying, "Oh, that skateboard! You shot him, and he had a skateboard in his hands." The dude was using that skateboard as a weapon. That's like somebody trying to hit you in the back of the head with a 2x4. Oh, but the skateboard has metal trucks on it. It's basically a board with a piece of metal on the end of it, and he's trying to hit you on the head with it. You gonna let him hit you with it? Then he was also rushed by these people. Now, I will have to say this. He should not have had to be out there. He should not have had to have been out there protecting property.
I agree.
On that, I will agree with you, Kwafi. He should not have been out there doing the police's job. The National Guard should have been out there. The National Guard should have been out there because why? Because people take advantage of the situation. Oh, it's a protest. It's a bunch of black people out there protesting. Let us go out there and fuck some shit up. It'll get blamed on the black people anyway. Let's go burn and loot shit down. Oh, because we can blame it on some black folk. Seattle and CHOP. You know, people don't think about shit. There ain't all that many black people in Seattle. There ain't that many black people in the state of Washington. And the motherfuckers who were burning burning shit down during those BLM protests, there weren't all that many black people. Hell, even in the footage that you saw over there of Kenosha during that protest, there weren't all that many black people. And you wonder why no black people got shot is because they weren't trying shit. They weren't trying to be up in people's faces. They weren't trying to beat people up who had guns. Oh, but those boys were.
Suck law the building, everybody.
Now, here's one more case thing I'll have to say. One of the victims had been in jail and in prison on some charges, on some very heinous charges. And guess what? He was in prison for doing things to somebody who was not of age. And guess what? Rittenhouse wasn't of age either. Some people said he was afraid for his life. One of those dudes that he shot, he shouldn't have been afraid for his life. He should have been afraid for his ass. Because that's what that guy was in prison for. And Kyle was underage, and this dude was coming after him, and you don't know what he wanted. His life or his ass. And I'm not talking about life in a very vulgar way, in a street way. Yeah, he was after his ass. No, I mean his booty. I'm not trying to be salacious. Yes, I am.
These are bad actors.
That's the kind of person this quote unquote victim was. If he could have gotten away with it, you don't know what he would have done to Kyle. He would have grabbed Kyle's gun, and then after that, he would have grabbed Kyle's gun. Because that's the kind of dude he was. And I'm not talking about Kyle's AR. I'll stop my rant there. Perfect.
How powerful, man. Where you been, man? Been doing all this by myself, man. You don't love me, man.
I have been working. I have been working like a dog, man.
I'm sick as a dog.
I hope all you motherfuckers out there who are ordering shit online go broke one day. Stop ordering shit. Y'all don't need that shit.
You don't need that shit. You don't need
and don't y'all
shit,
know that
man.
comes from China anyway? Y'all over here worried about some C-19 and y'all ordering it in the mail. Stop it. I'm not joking about that C-19 thing. Nor am I joking about I hope y'all all go broke and stop ordering shit. I don't like working, man. Fuck you, Adam. Yes, and I am talking about that Adam. I hate him.
Anthony Huber lays on the ground after being shot in the chest by Kyle Rittenhouse in Kenosha on Tuesday. So Anthony Huber had 26, tried him with the skateboard. Said maybe Huber wasn't the smartest for attacking someone with the gun, but his heart was pure and had good intentions. How can he be in the same sentence?
He had good intentions of splitting somebody's head open.
Yeah, how is that in the same sentence? That's not correct. Toy, can you help me with that?
And imagine this. You have a violent felon. You have another person who's suicidal, and you have another person with a violent record. And this boy with the skateboard with his pure heart knocks him out. And one of these quote unquote good-hearted people with just slight minor records got a hold of that gun. And here you are thinking about these 4 people that Kyle Rittenhouse had to take care of. If one of those motherfuckers had gotten that gun, what would they have done? They were trying to blow up a gas station. If they had gotten their hands on that AR and on that ammunition, what do you think they would have done? Dismantled it? and taken the ammunition and flushed it down the toilet so that mean, nasty weapon couldn't be used by anybody? If you think that, then you're stupid. There was a reason that they were trying to grab that gun from him. They were trying to cause mayhem. There's video of them trying to light a gas station on fire. And if they could have gotten their hands on their AR, only God knows what they would have done.
There was somebody in the chat earlier, you know, SunCloud, we've been getting a lot of new subscribers and a lot of new viewers. I want to say thank you. But it was somebody in the chat earlier that said he wanted to know to make sure that we knew that the persons that were shot were white. And I was letting them know, I believe we were one of the first people in this area.
We knew from from the jump. We even went in and looked at their records, their prison records. We even looked at the demerits that one of them had gotten. One of them had attacked prison guards so repeatedly. He was caught with shanks and makeshift weapons that he had made in prison. So we knew about it.
James, I apologize, bro. I missed your comment. James says, I live in Kenosha and it was not a war zone that day. James, would you please illuminate and share us more? Shout out SunCloud. We got Oreo. We got some creative ass names, man. We got Oreo. I had Bionic Bastard join me earlier. Mosh Pit Madness. Copper. What is this word, SunCloud? What is this word? What is this word? Copper. Grudger, what is that?
No, it is a person who makes barrels for a living. That's a Cooper.
Oh, dope.
So that's Cooper.
Cooper.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh. I fuck everybody in the chat. Fuck you, Cooper. Fuck you, Coffee. Fuck all of you motherfuckers, man. Fuck all of you. Let me say that name wrong all them times, you
now,
motherfuckers.
And Copper would have one less O and an extra P.
Stop, goddammit. I realize that now, SunCloud. You fucking asshole. SunCloud's my brother, everybody. I was fucked up, SunCloud.
I'm not going to let it rest there, sir.
Go ahead. Fuck it. Copper would have 1-0. Oh shit! I'm tired. I don't need to be on here, y'all. I should be getting some rest. Serena gonna kick my ass.
Now here we go. A Cooper is a person trained to make wooden cask, barrels, vats, buckets, tubs, and troughs.
Damn, blood. I think I'm intelligent too. I be coming up with some great shit.
So I told you, it's a person who makes barrels for a living. That's the origin of the word Cooper.
I fucked that word all the way up. So what is this? A barrel grudger? What is that? That's crazy, man. That's crazy. I fucked that word.
Just like that surname Carpenter. So it could have been John Carpenter. So he's a son of a carpenter, so they call him that. There's Baker. Well, he might have had might be a descendant of a baker. There's Miller, a descendant of somebody who ran a mill, and so on and so forth.
Did you hear the other word I fucked up? Toya came and saved me.
Oh yeah, I did.
Tumultuous. That's what outside of the room. It was very tumultuous. I got that shit now though. But I fucked it up real bad. I'm so happy you wasn't on the.
There's another one perfect. called
Another
tumult.
word I messed up. Tumult.
Because tumultuous comes from somewhere, doesn't it?
I had no idea. I barely could say the word right. So
Yeah, so tumult is a loud, confused noise, especially caused by a large mass of people, confusion or disorder. And tumultuous is what that situation is.
confusion and disorder.
The more you know.
And know that this is a Reading Rainbow cast too. We got a Rainbow and comprehension as part of this too. Yeah, man. Gotta talk to my dad today. That was cool. Earlier when I was doing my podcast this morning, my dad called. So I called him and he wanted to know about the gun. And that's where I found that research. So it's been a good show, 2 hours and 30 minutes.
Hold on now. No, put that article back up, man.
Oh, that's a great article. I don't even know how
I
God blessed
want to see something that they put over here in this article.
For sure. Where you want to go?
Don't even move it. Right there where you were.
Okay.
There we go. Right underneath that paragraph that says Kyle Rittenhouse did not take the witness stand. It says the trial has drawn national attention when Wisconsin Governor Tony Evers has put 500 National Guard troops on standby in case local law enforcement agencies need help with crowd control after a verdict.
With what, Sunclaw? With what, Sunclaw? They need help
with crowd control after the verdict.
I
mean,
and how many
only a couple of American cities had gone up in flames and had been looted. Where were the National Guardsmen when that protest was happening in Kenosha? Where were they when some of these other American cities went up in flames? Because remember, one went up and then others went up. It wasn't all simultaneously at the same time. They knew what could happen and what would happen, but some of these states had governors who were of one team, who were, would it be Crips, right? They were Crips.
Yep, blue states.
Yeah, there were some governors who were Crips, and they didn't want to deploy the National Guard, even though they knew what the outcome was going to be. You didn't have that same type of destruction happening in states that were run by the Bloods or the Red Party. Interesting. Didn't have the foresight of putting the National Guard out then, but they do now.
I got another video, everybody, but my video doesn't work well, so we might listen to it and
will decide his fate. Outside,
don't get
protesters
mad
are
at the
gathering on the
video.
steps of the
Y'all be
courthouse
acting like
and
little
the
girls.
National Guard on standby in the city of Kenosha as local officials call for calm when the verdict comes down. The key issue for the jurors to decide was Rittenhouse acting in self-defense, or did he intend to kill two people and wound another? Prosecutors say Rittenhouse was a vigilante and expecting violence, while the defense making the case that he was attacked while trying to protect the community.
Everybody takes a beating sometimes, right? Sometimes you get in a scuffle and maybe you do get hurt a little bit. That doesn't mean you get to start plugging people with your full metal jacket AR-15.
What the defendant wants you to believe is that because he's the one who brought the gun, he gets to kill. When the defendant provokes the incident, he loses the right to self-defense.
Kyle was a 17-year-old kid out there trying to help this community. But the district attorney's office is marching forward with this case. because they need somebody to be responsible. Kyle Rittenhouse's behavior was protected under the law of the state of Wisconsin, the law of self-defense.
And the media covered this case facing new scrutiny for a rush to judgment before the facts came out.
Having a protest in another state, and he takes it upon himself to go there, you know, and then he says it's self-defense. No.
Crying on the witness stand like he's some poor babe in the woods, and he just happened to cross state lines, break gun laws.
On cross-examination, what we saw was a very rehearsed Kyle Rittenhouse.
If a black kid did that, killed two people, and injured another person, America feel about that?
These are the victims. These are the people that people ought to remember, the people who were hurt here, not the person who was crying on the stand.
Basically, what they're saying is, oh, it's okay to shoot white people too.
Geraldo, let's start with you from legal perspective and somebody who's followed this case closely, and then we'll take it around the table too.
Well, I think the verdict should, if the jurors stick to the law, result in an acquittal. I think once they dropped the less serious charges, it made the possibility of a clean sweep more likely. Why? Because self-defense is so powerful in Wisconsin particularly. And I think that it's pretty clear that this kid, however, I personally feel that he's been lionized way over the top, that he has been portrayed by half this country as a heroic youngster fighting for his community. I don't believe that at all. I think he watched too many Rambo movies. He's a kid that took an AR-15, took a machine gun to a riot. I think that it was.
It's not a machine gun.
Whatever.
And he's too young to watch Rambo.
He's 17. Then you don't have cable TV or direct TV.
You think Rambo made
But he's not on trial for those things.
My point is he will be acquitted. He should be acquitted. But I think that this is what is very distressing. And I made a point of telling my dear colleague here, we have to be careful not to root for an outcome in a criminal case. Let these jurors decide based on the facts and circumstances as they were presented, the legal evidence that was presented. I must say that well after my appearance here last week, I found the articles that had the pictures of him giving the white supremacy sign on the QT. I got the picture here. You're joking.
What, you actually believe this is a white supremacy sign?
Stop it for a second.
I hope you're right. I hope I'm wrong. And let the
Perfect. Did you happen to know that we're both white supremacists? And I want everybody down there in the chat to know you're a white supremacist too.
Right.
Did you know that all of a sudden they made the OK sign when you say A-OK like that with your fingers? And all of a sudden they're conflating that with a white supremacist sign. All those kids on the playground when you're hiding and you're playing hide and go seek and you letting your buddy know, hey, it's okay to come out, but you can't say it, you know, because the person who's it might hear you. Those little kids on the playground doing the OK sign, it's okay, you can come out now. They're white supremacists now. What, grandmama? What do you say? You need me to come over? Oh, she's doing a white supremacist sign. Perfect. And all I was gonna do was go over there and help her pick some stuff up. What? How dare you, Perfect? How dare you do that to me? I am so triggered now.
Ote. Everything is A-O-T.
Mm-hmm. That is a white supremacist sign that Geraldo Rivera is talking about. Geraldo Rivera. That's how you properly pronounce his name. But I just want people to know that. Don't skip that stuff. This is what they're trying to push down your throat.
Stoking the flames. Stoking the flames.
You, ladies and gentlemen in the audience, know better than I because as I said, I only came to this last week. But if indeed he is connected with the white supremacists, that gives you an added layer
So
of
you're smearing him
distress.
again. You're smearing him with a lie.
Geraldo, they checked his phone. Geraldo, checked his phone. Geraldo, they checked his phone. Kid
That doesn't
17.
make
There was not one thing about militia or white supremacy on the phone. Not one. Okay? Checked his phone. Nothing on it. That's that.
It's just
so that's that.
just a
Geraldo.
coincidence.
So that's that. All right. Okay, Geraldo.
I'm saying,
this is
I'm
what
a
I'm
lawyer,
saying. And this
will be based on the facts.
And that's what we
He
want.
should be acquitted.
We want that.
Listen
and we
to
want
what I'm
justice.
saying.
I listen.
Don't put words.
But
I am
we're just
distressed by
responding to what you just
by
said.
the undertone.
Okay.
You say you're a lawyer, you're based on facts, and you bring up something about this.
And what does that means? Nothing to you?
Yes, means nothing.
All right, great.
I
hope you're
it's
right.
not a fact.
Like I said,
it's an
maybe
opinion.
maybe gut filthy.
Maybe I'll show you Barack Obama going like this. Okay.
Emmanuel Lewis was doing. I brought that.
All right.
And who was he standing with?
All right, let me get Katie.
You know, he's probably standing with Farrakhan.
We're gonna get everybody.
He took a picture with Farrakhan. All right.
You know, who was he standing with? Who was he standing with? I don't know.
I would agree vehicle, but just
Well, we can go back. We can go back to the
Nancy
case.
Pelosi did.
We could go back. We can go back to the facts of the case and what happened and the reason why we're in this situation. Geraldo, the reason we're here is because a mob of criminal adults and rioters, including a man who was shot and killed, who was a multi-time pedophile, child rapist, attacked Kyle because he was in Kenosha putting out the fires at the buildings that the rioters were starting. The police were not there
what
to
she
stop
said,
rioters
right?
from starting these fires or to put out the fires. Kyle was there doing that, and so they didn't like that very much, and therefore they attacked him, they assaulted him, and they threatened to kill him, which is why he ended up defending himself in self-defense. 2 days before the riots, this is also something a lot of people don't know, another band of criminals showed up in Kenosha with rifles, rioters, who confronted the police, and the police backed off, and that's why the police weren't there that day to stop the rioters from fighting fires. The men in this case who have been killed, Joseph Rosenbaum, child rapist, spent 15 years in prison. Anthony Huber had a felony strangulation and suffocation charge against him, pulled a knife on his brother and his grandmother. Engaged Grosskreutz, who was the one who was shot but survived, charged with armed with a gun while being intoxicated, also a crime. Admitted in court that he stuck a gun in Kyle's face, and that's why he was shot by Kyle in self-defense. I wonder, though, on the other side of this, I this last night, how could you go through the case and come to the conclusion that you did, that Kyle should be acquitted? Well, watching a week's worth of video and the town burning down and going, I don't want that to happen again, so I had to come to a different conclusion. That's not what the jury instructions are. But there are threats about this. The jury was not sequestered. There are people outside the courtroom, and there are 500 National Guard agent or soldiers in town to prevent something like this from happening. What if they're seeing it from the other perspective of, if I don't make the right decision based on the mob, then my family will be threatened, and that's the problem.
Hear the protesters from, I'm sure they said in the courtroom you could hear the protesters outside. So surely the jury, wherever they are in that room, or could probably hear it too.
It was the point I made after Chauvin when I go like, oh, I'm relieved he was found guilty, so my city won't burn. And people thought, oh, that's a terrible thing to say. I was making a comment on society, on that's how it is, how now society dictates how people decide in court. We're watching businesses getting boarded up on what I call an MIH, a media-induced hurricane, right? We should have categories for this. The media induces this by deliberately weighting the coverage in the way that they want. So both CNN and MSNBC chose not to show most, if not all, of the closing arguments from the defense. So what you're left with is what you heard from the prosecution, which is that one of them didn't have a gun when he had a gun, that Rittenhouse is a racist or doesn't like blacks. He wasn't doing the attacking. He wasn't being attacked. So by only showing one side of this, that makes the riots more justified. When Toobin said the judge misled the jury on CNN, that means the justice was not served. Therefore, the activists can say, okay, here we go again. We have to go out there and burn everything down. So the media just pushes the lie again and again that no justice can be had. This is the difference between humanity and media. For humanity, we live by the boy who cried wolf. It's a necessary fable to build trust. When a boy who cries wolf, you don't trust him. That's a morality tale. In the media, it's a profit model, right? For the media, the boy who cried wolf is what they do with race, what they do with climate, what they do with guns, because it's their goddamn profit model. That's why they keep doing it, and they're doing it again. Sorry, I swore.
That's all right. I think that's all.
I should have said, gosh darn.
Permission to swear was granted in retrospect.
If Dana grants it, then I can only.
In retrospect.
Okay, then send your letters to Dana for letting you do that.
I don't want you to get in trouble. I don't want you in trouble. So let you wrap it up. Whatever you want.
I mean, I have a lot to say. I think we got to go to a commercial break.
They said we have time.
All right, well, then here we go. So this is what the left did. They falsely label something racist, the Blake shooting, and then that justifies their riots, because a riot against racism has to be righteous, right? That justifies all of their ransacking and looting and burning, and you can't get in the way of a righteous riot, right? That makes you racist, right? So Kyle got in the way, and he should have just taken a beating. That's what the prosecution said. Just take your beating. Kyle didn't take the beating. Kyle used self-defense, and that's what they can't have. They had to make an example out of Kyle. They have to chill other people for trying to protect their own communities. Also, total snobs. Oh, why would you want to have to protect Kenosha? It's just flyover country. Just a bunch of middle-class rubes with, maybe some fires got started at a car dealership. Whoopee. Who cares? Well, it's the other thing if they come after Santa Barbara or Georgetown or the Hamptons. That's private property. That's expensive. That's worth protecting. So they're conditioning the country to bow to the mob. They're conditioning the country to not use their Second Amendment right. And they're using psychological warfare, as Greg said. They will basically take a huge villain, a pedophile, a lying communist, and turn the guy into a hero. Or they'll take a guardian of a community and make that guy a villain.
He's a guardian of the
And
community.
he went there to give medical aid and put out fires, all right? And that confuses the country, and then Democrats exploit that confusion for power.
All right. More to come at 7 p.m.
More to
on
come
prime
at
time.
7.
All right.
Unless you get bumped.
Hey, Sean Hannity here.
That was 2 hours ago. That was the 5 giving their predictions on the verdict about 2 hours ago. That was pretty good. Got a little heated in the chat. So I like that.
I have a weird question.
Do you?
That prosecutor.
The
That's
prosecutor.
in the courtroom.
Binger.
Is he a state prosecutor or is he a federal prosecutor?
I don't know. He said he's worked with that judge before. It's the state versus Rittenhouse.
No, because you see, the way that Geraldo and the way that some people in the media are making it seem, he should be in federal court, not in a state court. They're saying he crossed state lines with the firearm and did this and did that, do the other. What they're talking about is federal charges.
So somebody in the chat say he didn't actually cross state lines with the firearm, that he borrowed it from someone once he got to Kenosha. His mom brought him there, but he didn't have a gun with him. Somebody in our chat said that.
Exactly. And when they say he possessed it, he did not possess anything. He had it. He didn't own it. They were trying to make it seem like it was a straw purchase. A straw purchase is when somebody who's not allowed to have a firearm gets somebody to go use their another person's identification. So the other person uses their identification to purchase the weapon, and then they give the weapon, or better said, sell the weapon to the person who is not allowed to have said weapon. And Kyle really doesn't fit that in any way, shape, or form.
No.
Did he have any previous criminal record that prohibited him from having a firearm?
No, which is why the gun was dropped.
Exactly. So he was always allowed to have one. Oh, he's 17. Look, hunting throughout the world, even here in the United States, is a tradition. It is a cultural thing, whether you want to believe it or not. There are people who get their first firearm as soon as their father or parent thinks that they're able to handle it responsibly. In other cultures, it's a spear. In others, it's a bow and arrow. And in even some cultures in the jungle, it might be a blowgun with poisonous darts. And they take this child and they teach this child how to hunt. And here in the United States, you're allowed to purchase a rifle and give it to your child for the purposes of hunting.
Pew, pew, everybody gonna die. Pew, pew, everybody gonna die. Pew, pew. Ain't nothing
But
faster
people
than
don't
pew.
understand that because people who live in cities wouldn't understand that. Have you ever been taken? Did anybody ever take you fishing? Perfect. Has anybody taken you fishing? Perfect.
Oh yeah. San Francisco Bay Area, we fish.
They gave you a weapon. They gave you a
swim.
fishing pole, and that thing has a hook on it. And when that fish gets that hook in its mouth, and you pull it out of the water, and that fish can't breathe because you took it out of the water, it can't breathe anymore. And then what do you do with the fish after you pull it out of the water? Huh?
You gut it.
You gut it and you skin it and you fry it and then you devour it. It's no different.
Succulent.
It is absolutely no different. That fishing pole to me is no different than a rifle. Now, how you use it is a different animal, but it's no different.
Speaking of doomsday prep, I need to get me a new pole. Might be a good idea to get a nice little pole collection. I had one once before. Salt water, fresh water. I think now that God led us to that conversation for a reason. I'm looking at my fishing pole right now.
Yeah, and that's another reason why this case really is not going to go down over there in the Midwest, because it's more rural. There are more people who grew up with hunting. Shoot, when I was a kid, we would go into the woods and shoot cans with BB guns and with 22s. You know, we'd be plinking. We'd just be shooting cans off a log. And it was just something that you did. And the people where that jury came from, that's just something that they did. So this whole ruckus that they're trying to make, the gun, evil, this, that, and the other. Shoot. Their granny had one. There are parts of this country where back in the day you could bring a gun to school during hunting season. All you had to do was just put it in your locker. So that as soon as school let out, you could go straight into the woods and start hunting. There are places where there are archery classes. There are places where you used to be trained in marksmanship. At schools, public schools. Weird, isn't it? Very weird. Weird to you because you don't know about it.
Let's take a look at this video. More tumultuous events outside courthouse. Yeah, the jury deliberating.
And the whole nation media is calling it a show. It's racist. It's biased. There should be a mistrial.
Without our voices, I just feel like we need to show them that we're not playing and we're here and we are listening, we're watching, and yeah.
I'm here to stand up for what's right, and I believe that he should do time for what he did.
I'm here to support the calls for Kyle to go to prison for a very long time.
We seen them out there that night. We seen all the militia on the roof pointing their lasers at everybody. People walking through our parking lot pointing lasers at them. He was, as far as I'm concerned, he was there to show off so he could get on social media holding an AR-15 and brag to his friends. He had no clue. He was a scared little kid that should have not been here. Period.
Injustice anywhere is injustice everywhere.
What he did was horrible, and there's people out here saying that, you know, self-defense isn't a crime, but it's like me breaking into somebody's house and them coming at me and I shoot them and kill them because they were going to kill me for being in their home and robbing them. And that's how I kind of feel like this is like, and I don't like that.
I will be protesting. I will stand in solidarity with anyone who wants to protest if Kyle Rittenhouse is not found guilty of murder. But I will also be protesting an injustice system of injustice, a system of oppression, a system built by white supremacists. If Kyle is found guilty, because if Kyle is found guilty of murder, there is still a lot of injustice going on. I mean, the very fact that this judge can continue to be on this case is an injustice.
Wow, that was deep. She was going in.
Perfect. I have something controversial to say.
Please. Controversy.
The BLM protests.
Controversy.
You know, things are sometimes a double-edged sword. It's one thing if a protest happens and there's no violence during the protest, no looting, no burning stuff down. But when you have people who come to a peaceful protest and want to burn down buildings, start fires, and do things like that, while other people are trying to peacefully protest the point becomes lost. You're protesting the treatment of black men by the police. Yet, these people who are burning shit down makes it so that your voice isn't heard. And everywhere these protests are happening, there are people who are taking advantage. Oh yeah, let's rob some shit. And then, one day, when something really atrocious happens and you want to protest, people aren't going to say, oh, what are they protesting about? Let us become informed about what they're protesting about. No, they're going to say, y'all just want some free shit. I would be there protesting against those so-called victims because, in a sense to me, they're doing harm. If you go to a protest and you're causing violence, if you go to a protest and you want to burn buildings down, burn businesses down, steal some shit, you're not helping the cause, you're hurting the cause. And I was sitting around and I was thinking, if you were somebody who was evil, villainous, and you wanted to do some harm, yes.
Muah. Muah.
What would be the perfect way? Oh, these black people that I hate are protesting. So I'm going to go over there and join their protest and burn down buildings in their name. Steal shit in their name. And yet we're over here protesting. Oh, Kyle, he shouldn't have done that to those people. Those people were trying to undermine your protest. He did not shoot any black people. He shot violent white people who were trying to undermine the point of the protest. I feel like I'm crazy. Am I the only one who sees this? That people who go to a protest, not to protest. I don't have any problem with people who go to a protest and bring attention to something. But the motherfuckers who are burning shit down, beating people up, killing them. Oh, I'm not talking about this Wisconsin case. In some of the other cities that were burnt down after the BLM protests, people died. That makes people deaf to the message that you're trying, or to the story that you're trying to tell. It makes people deaf to your message. They'll be clamoring for the National Guard and the police the next time you want to have a peaceful protest, because y'all people never have no peaceful protests. Y'all are always trying to steal shit. And then on social media, you see who is going to these BLM protests to steal shit and to burn shit down. And it's your, oh, I thought it was your allies, your white allies who are burning shit down. Blow up gas stations. Burn down businesses. They're helping your cause by doing that. Yep. Of course they're helping your cause. They're helping your cause not get the attention that it needs. They're helping your cause not be able to get their message out. That's how they're helping you. I just thought I'd had to say that.
Evil laughter. Great show, everybody. Sabrina was asking me about Ahmaud Arbery. Oh, I'm hoping we get a verdict this week so we can do some work on Ahmaud Arbery and continue to show the contrast. And my prayer is that we continue to educate, elevate, and provoke men to do and be more involved. Like I gave Coffee Nino his props. That expose Coffee Nino made was about legislation. It's about legislation. So that's what it's gonna take. More people being creative with their voice, like my brother just expressed. So, man, I'm about to get out of here, bro. If you got anything to add before we get out of here, let the people know.
I don't have anything else to add, except I want people to think. Use your brain and think sometimes. Because I was thinking, man, the protest is not the problem. I have absolutely no problem with the protest. But some of what happened during those protests, the people taking advantage, that's the real problem. Oh, yeah, some black folk are going to protest, and we know the police ain't going to do shit, so let's go rob some shit. That's the problem.
You hear the lieutenant governor?
And we're out there defending these motherfuckers.
Yeah. The lieutenant governor is a young black man. Sorry to interrupt. The lieutenant governor is a young black man. He said, we have a bigger problem if Jacob Blake can be shot and paralyzed over a knife, and that could be justified. But this young man can have a gun and legally kill 3 people and then make it back home to Illinois. He didn't go into whether or not Kyle was guilty or not. He did the contrast. Any intelligent black man is doing the same contrast. It's not about whether or not I believe Kyle is guilty or not. The lieutenant governor, a young, articulate black man, said, we have a bigger problem if Jacob Blake can be almost murdered and paralyzed over the pretense that he may have had a knife. Not that he had a knife, not that he hurt anyone, but just maybe he had a knife. Yet Kyle can kill 3 people and make it back home to Illinois. There's something else that we need to address. And thank you, Sunclaw, for illuminating that. That's my word. Y'all know that's my word. Yeah, I'm not showing this just for. I think that's why we're garnering so much attention with this effort. It's not about the turkey leg hut. I'm not showing this to say this ain't about white supremacy. Both of me and Sunclaw believe Kyle was innocent. It's not about that. But it's going to take some critical thinking on the part of men and fathers. You know what I said, Sunclaw? I said we can't allow ourselves to break down along the lines of race as men and fathers and Americans. Not in 2021. We don't have that luxury of letting the media manipulate us into thinking this is a racial issue when everybody on both sides were the same race.
Oh, but you already saw they are trying to make it a racial issue.
Yeah.
People, you know what? The next time they bring up this case, I want you to pay attention and see if they ever show the pictures or images of the people Kyle shot.
Only us, even.
And if they don't, it's because they want people to assume.
They want to stoke anger and fear.
They want people to assume that they were black people and brown people that Kyle shot. When you know it's not true. Because all they say is just the victim.
Correct. He had raped a child, and the other person had beat up.
And guess what Kyle was at the time of that shooting?
A child.
He was a child. Like I said.
Kyle was the only
He should have
child.
been more than afraid for his life. He should have been afraid for his ass too.
Yep. He was the only child. I said earlier, Sunclaw, before you came on, that we can't talk about that because we have to demonize whiteness. We have to demonize the white man. And as black men, we have to get on the campaign to demonize white men, regardless of the facts on the ground. Kyle was the only child there. And he was in the capacity to help. He was the only child there. 36, 26. And we have him on camera saying, kill me. I want to be killed. I want to kill someone. You don't have that from Kyle. But how about that turkey leg hut?
Yeah, I hear they had some good turkey legs over there, man.
Oh, man. Stuffed with Creole goodness, man. We should talk more about the turkey leg hut. I think people like that. Put a link in the chat about a big booty black bitch and we get some more views. Black women hate black men. We're going to talk about it tonight. Black women disrespect black men. We're going to talk about it. Black men, love yourself. Oh, this silly shit. I love Coffee Nino, man. I have to give him his props, man. People don't understand. That's such a beautiful cinematic creation that he created. People don't realize that it was about legislation.
Mm-hmm.
You hear about
and Coffee did have a point. Kyle should not have been there.
Correct.
There are people whose job it is to protect communities and to protect a state. And depending on what level of protection is needed, you either have the county police, the city police, then inside of that city, you have the county and you have your sheriffs. And then you have your state police. And if that's not enough, then you call in the National Guard.
Hey, Sunclaw, I got 2 thumbs down.
You know what? It doesn't matter. It's the same thing. People, if you don't know, the like button and the dislike button is the same thing. It still means engagement with the audience. You cared enough to interact.
I got two
I hope
thumbs.
you know.
I got two thumbs down. Well, come on back,
They,
y'all.
they love you enough to give you 2 thumbs down.
Yeah, man. Come on back, man. Y'all should just listen for a little bit longer. A lot of people
You know, a woman who leaves you and doesn't slash your tires,
she didn't care.
no, she don't care. Now, if she does slash your tires, that means she still cares about you.
How do you interpret love? Oh, snap.
And those are your 2 dislikes.
Yeah, those are the
Somebody cared enough to give you 2 dislikes, man. They cared enough about you.
They probably called up their homeboy. Hey, I'm listening to this podcast. Can you log on and hit that dislike on? Yeah, man. He think Kyle Rittenhouse is guilty. Like, nah, man. Just listen for a little while. Just listen, man. Just listen.
He ain't, but still, it should not have been his job.
I agree, but this is why me and you were so passionate about the defund the police and the ignorance from the inner city community about who that would affect. Who gets hurt by defund the police? But we're seeing the downstream effects.
In a lot of major cities, the city hall, the town council, has been trying to defund the police, and there have been black people in the audience telling them, no, we need them. But they don't care.
They don't care. You get Chaz. You get Chaz, and then you arrest Kyle. And blacks don't have guns to protect themselves. You get lawlessness. Then you get martial law. Who said defund the police? That was the stupidest shit. I agree with I liked when we were saying they don't get enough training and we overwork them. They are not fucking counselors. They are not fucking psychiatric. They are not fucking the homeless.
Because they shouldn't be called for that. In New York, many years ago, there was an issue. They had called the police, and I think this mentally ill small hat person was at the center of it, and he had a hammer. And I think he lunged at a police officer with a hammer, and the police officer put the hammer down on this man. And then everybody was so upset. But you're not supposed to call the police for a disturbance that is caused by a mentally ill person.
Jacob Blake, Orlando Kessler.
But there's no funding for it. There's no funding. There are no more public insane asylums like there used to be before Reagan. Like there used to be back in the 70s, 60s, 50s, 40s, 30s, 20s.
Bellevue.
There's no place like that anymore. So now you're using the prison system to handle mental health issues.
Yep. And police. They overworked.
You have a family member who's unstable and you cannot even get them the help that they need. Because you think, oh no, they should have a choice. The NAACP is telling you that mentally ill people, a person who will eat their own boo-boo or rub their own boo-boo all over their body, they should be the ones to decide on whether to get care or whether they should be taking medication. How? There's certain mental illnesses that turn people basically into children. In which a person is not capable of making rational decisions by themselves.
For themselves.
Or for themselves. Yeah, but what about their freedom to choose? Okay. What about their freedom to choose, huh? You think this person is choosing to rub their own feces all over themselves? You think this person is choosing to walk down the street and you can hear them coming a mile away because of that hum of those flies that are following them? You think that person is able to make proper decisions when they have a butter knife and they're putting holes in their arm because they feel something is crawling up underneath their skin and they need to get it out.
Sad, man. That's when I say in my prayer, we could be anywhere. We don't know what a blessing really is, man. I pray for those people, bro. We don't know what it really means to be blessed. When I pray and I say we could be anywhere, when I say we could be anywhere, son, cause not just physically, bro.
And perfect. And this is also one of these things with this addiction epidemic that we're having. When people get so strung out that all they can think about is that next hit. They'll do anything for that next hit. I mean, anything. Yeah. That type of anything.
Wow.
Oh, you say that they used to go to church and they used to be in Sunday school and they used to teach Sunday school. They wouldn't do that. Yes, they will. For $5 behind the truck stop, they will. So that they can get their hit. They'll sell their soul to the devil to get their hit. But you know what? When they go to the devil to sell their soul, you know what the devil tells them? You already sold it to me last week.
Right. Bring me more. Bring me more.
So this is the kind of country that we're living in right now. You have family members who can't help themselves, and you can't help them either. Because other people are telling you, oh no, they have to consent to the help. But they're not capable. Oh, that don't matter. Well, they're flinging feces in the street. Oh, that doesn't matter. They're homeless. Oh, that doesn't matter. They're hooked on these drugs. That doesn't matter. And what matters then?
What does matter, bro? It does matter.
Shoot, man. I don't even know anymore. Yeah, you remember that cousin that you have? The one who was a valedictorian? The one your parents used to compare you? Used to compare you and you always look bad in comparison. They were the valedictorian, the track star, the prom queen, the prom king. And now they're somewhere.
On Stockton, selling their ass.
Yep, living out of a cardboard box.
Freeway.
And they had so much potential. What happened to them? Everybody's trying to help them because everybody likes them. But they can't. They can't get them committed. They can't get them into rehab. They can't get that family member the help that they need. They can't even get the power of attorney over them. They try, but it's hard to do.
They just let Brittany free. Her dad kept that money and kept everything calm for 18 years. They let Brittany out.
Ooh, my goodness.
Crucified the dad in court opinion. Now, before the dad
We're going to have to start a pool, Perfect.
Come on, man. Before the dad came in.
We're going to have to start a pool. And the pool's going to be broken down on how many days, how many weeks, how many months, and how many more years she's going to live.
Straight up. And it's not a joke.
Oh, I didn't misspeak. I didn't say how many more decades. Because I don't think it's going to go that far.
Look at Whitney. Nah, Her dad was keeping her from killing herself, and now the devil got what he wanted.
Wasn't there a controversy too of the Mouseketeers?
It was Kids Incorporated. It was a TV show called Kids Incorporated on Disney Channel. Justin Timberlake was on the show.
Oh, that's not even what I'm talking about. Perfect.
Oh shit! You talking about something older? I'm talking about
Oh
them.
no,
Aguilera,
I
Britney
am
Spears,
talking
Justin
about them.
Timberlake. They
There
all
was a controversy. It had come out that those kids had been
Kids
had been harmed.
Incorporated. KIDS.
So those kids had been harmed by adults.
Yep. I
And
remember.
that came out.
Yep.
And guess who was one of them? Brittany.
And Justin and Christina. Yep. They all have been molested. It's part of the initiation. But we can't talk about that, man. Come on.
Nah. That's just crazy.
Allegedly initiation. Allegedly. I don't know nothing about no damn initiation. What you talking about? I ain't know nothing about no goddamn jumping beans.
And then you kind of think about it, and all the pieces start to fit together, and it starts making sense.
No, man. R. Kelly, it's R. Kelly, man. What you talking about? 6-minute abs. Ben Stiller said, why not just do 5 minutes? He got pissed off. He said, fuck you, Kate. 5 minutes is not enough time to work up a sweat.
But 6 is.
He says, you heard of 7-minute abs? He said, yeah. He said, my idea is 6-minute abs.
You know what? That's reminding me of Martin Lawrence. You remember a couple of years back, he collapsed in the street while he was jogging. He was wrapped up in plastic wrap or something like that.
Is that right? He was trying to lose.
Yeah, and he was jogging while he was wrapped up in plastic wrap trying to lose weight. And he fell out, man. He fell out like the bottom of the market back in 2008.
Trying to look good for people. He said, no. 6-minute abs. He said 6-minute abs.
He fell out like so many hairs off of a bald man's head. That's how he fell out.
He fucking just do 5-minute abs. Oh man, I can't fight it. There's people on here with a 6-minute ab workout. It's hella people, and they got abs.
Hey, Perf, you end up listening to that thing I sent you.
I did.
And wasn't that interesting?
It was.
That open seating thing that Jesse the Body Ventura was talking about.
I don't know if I fixated on that part. It was a couple other parts I fixated on.
No, I fixated on that because it was something that you were talking about earlier in the week. And he mentioned that Connecticut event too.
With these open venues.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no problem. I've been driving for like 15 hours straight, so I could use the comfort.
Let's go on ahead and end it, Perf.
In the same spot for 5.5 hours. You know, they made it illegal.
Oh, and to the people out there saying Kyle is innocent. Yes, I believe he's innocent of the charges, but he did do it though. He did do it.
He did.
I ain't saying what he did is deserving of prison time, but I saw him do what he did, and he did do what he did.
And we did show that.
He did it, but he's innocent. Shoot, OJ's innocent too.
Yeah. All right. If it don't fit, you must have quit, man. If it don't fit, you must have quit.
Yeah.
Salute, son Claude. I love you, brother.
All right, you take care, man.
See you tomorrow, man.
I'm going to start my own company. Really? You want in?
Nah, I'm not. I don't really have any, money or.
You heard of this thing, the 8-minute abs?
Yeah, sure. 8-minute abs. Yeah, the exercise video.
Yeah. Well, this is gonna blow that right out of the water. Listen to this. 7-minute abs.
Right. Yes. Okay. All right. I see where you're going.
Think about it. You walk into a video store, you see 8-minute abs sitting there. There's 7-minute abs right beside it. Which one are you gonna pick, man?
I would go for the 7. Yeah, I'd go for
Bingo, man. Bingo. 7-minute abs. And we guarantee just as good a workout as the 8-minute, folk.
You guarantee it? That's how do you do that?
If you're not having minutes, we're gonna send you the extra minute free. See, that's it. That's our motto. That's where we're coming from. That's from A to B.
Right. That's good. Unless, of course, somebody comes up with 6-minute abs, then you're in trouble, huh?
No, no, not 6. I said 7. Nobody's coming up with 6. Who works out in 6 minutes? You don't even get your heart going, not even a mouse on a wheel.
Good point.
7's the key number here. Think about it. 7.
I would go for the 7. Yeah, I'd go for
Bingo, man. Bingo.
Yeah, sure. 8-minute abs. Yeah, the exercise video.
Yeah, well, this is going to blow that right out of the water. Listen to this. 7-minute abs.
Right. Yes. Okay. All right. I see where you're going.
Think about it. You walk into a video store, you see 8-minute abs sitting there. There's 7-minute abs right beside it. Which one are you going to pick, man?
I would go for the 7. Yeah.
Bingo, man. Bingo. 7-minute abs. And we guarantee just as good a workout as 8-minute, folks.
Guarantee it? That's, how do you do that?
If you're not happy with the first 7 minutes, we're going to send you the extra minute free. See, that's it. That's our motto. That's where we're coming from. That's A-B.
That's right. That's good. That's good. Unless, of course, somebody comes with 6-minute abs, then you're in trouble, huh?
No, not 6. I said 7. Nobody's coming up with 6. Who works out in 6 minutes? You won't even get your heart going, not even a mouse on a wheel.
Good point.
7's the key number here. Think about it. 7 11s, 7 doors, 7, man, that's the number. 7 chipmunks twirling on a bench, eating sunflowers on my uncle's ranch. You know that old children's tale from the sea? It's like you're dreaming about gorgonzola cheese when it's clearly brie time, baby. Step into my office.
Why?
Because you're fucking fired.
Yeah, you know what? I gotta pee. I'm just gonna pull over. That's right. That's good. Unless, of course, somebody comes up with 6-minute abs, then you're in trouble, huh?
No, not 6. I said 7. Nobody's coming up with 6. Who works out in 6 minutes? You won't even get your heart going, not even a mouse on a wheel.
Good point.
7's the key number here. Think about it. 7 11s, 7 doors, 7, man, that's the number. 7 chipmunks twirling on a branch, eating lots of sunflowers on my uncle's ranch. You know that old children's tale from the sea? It's like you're dreaming about gorgonzola cheese when it's clearly brie time, baby. Step into my office.
Why?
Because you're fucking fired.
Yeah, you know what? I gotta pee. I'm just gonna pull over.
Yo, your car seats are making me itchy, man. These made of cactus. Only waiting 7 minutes total.
Survived the record deals, I'm still here, my nigga. By special delivery, like G-Dep and did it. I never left my city. Other places are pretty. I do travel and visit, but you know where I'm living. Woke up this morning, I thank God, and then I lit my sticky. I got fresh and to the Bentley. Looking at projections, my business partner just sent to me. Positive energy, only thing that's in me. Though I've been overlooked intentionally, still ball regardless, my nigga. The largest profit mode. We keep going harder. We purchase faster cars to outrun the soldiers. And Pablo was starving them. Willie Falcone and them. Better have it, fraud, John Sparks and them. They like driving the dawn, it's him. Literate Sean, firearms in them. The morning was felt, my nigga, it's on from hell. Serious as that electric chair, no circuit fell.
All independent, I don't need no major. Baby, I ain't seen no papers. Hoes know the deal, bitch, I ain't no Captain Saver. Hoes know the deal, bitch, I ain't no Captain Saver. All independent, I don't need no major. Unsigned, baby, I ain't seen no papers. Hoes know the deal, bitch, I ain't no Captain Saver. Palace had the deal, then I'm staying Taylor. In the backseat getting high, getting next to my bitch. In the homie driveway like I was built for this shit. I'm outside every day like I don't never go in. Never forget where I'm from, that's why I'm sad for Ben. I know some niggas think I don't know what that is. You better get up on your hustle, nigga, handle your bitch. I'm booking shows cross country, trying to double my shit. Heard he trying to make $1 million, I said triple that pimp. I'm in the SL591 with the tents. Feeling like a hype, they like look at the rims. All the motherfucking wheels, I'm a Harlem with Jim. On the east side with Spitter, really rap what I live. Push the caddy like a boat, I float. We up the coast, sipping high tech. I got it from Queens, we do the most. Niggas lie about it, say that it's real. I know it don't. Stick to the bottom of the bottle like it's supposed to do. All independent, I don't need no major. Unsigned, baby, I ain't seen no papers. Hoes know the deal, bitch, I ain't no Captain Saver. Hoes know the deal, bitch, I ain't no Captain Saver. All independent, I don't need no major. Unsigned, baby, I ain't seen no papers. Hoes know the deal, bitch, I ain't no Captain Saver. Palace head to toe in my denim stay tailored.
He is from Brooklyn. Please give it up for Rashid. Give a round of applause.
What up? Y'all good? Brooklyn in the house? I'm glad. I love people from Brooklyn. I'm from Brooklyn, shit. Spanish people, Puerto Rico in the house. I fuck with Spanish people. Because Poppy ain't no snitch. You be like, Poppy, somebody just got killed on the 3rd floor? That's not me. I live on the 5th floor, that's it. Somebody die on 3, that's not me, baby. There's some black people in this world you can rob, but an old Spanish man ain't that dude. You can jump out of the dark with a gun, you be like, Poppy, give me all your money. He said, I don't give you nothing. You be like, Poppy, you better give me your money before I shoot the shit out of you. He said, look, I'll give you $5, that's it. Then he wants you to turn the fuck around like you ain't even got a gun. He said, turn around, I'll give you $5. You don't turn around, Poppy, walk the fuck off. Now you walking behind this nigga with a gun in his back. You like, Poppy, you better give me your money before I shoot the shit out of you. So I thought I'll give you that money over there. You don't think it. Poppy will walk your ass 20 fucking blocks. Now you mad because your fucking feet hurt. You like, Poppy, you better give me your money before I shoot the shit out of you right here. He said, you're gonna shoot me right here? You say, yeah, I'm gonna kill you right the fuck here. He said, that's okay, I live right here. You want that $5? You don't want that $5. You like, nigga, give me the fucking $5. I'm gonna walk your ass all the way the fuck home. The least you can do is give a nigga $5. And then I go to those Spanish stores, fuck them Arab stores, I go to the Puerto Rican stores. You know the Puerto Rican store? Because when you walk through, you hit a radio station, you know. La Mega 97.9. Nueva York. Yeah, Poppy always on the phone while you trying to buy something, ain't he? This nigga on the phone, you standing there, he gets an attitude with you like you disturbing this conversation. He like, hold on. Papa, what's the matter with you? I said, what's the matter? I want to know how much is the 40. He said, Papa, you come in there every day, you drink the same fucking 40 hours. He said, yesterday you come here, you give me $3, I give you 50 cents, you leave the same. Now you come today, Papa, you want too much problem for me, my friend. 20 years I live around there, I don't have no problem, but today, you want to give me problem. So I'll be like, fuck you. He said, no, fuck you. I don't scare you because you black. I said, nigga, you black too. He said, yeah, but you black like this. I said, fuck you. I look around the store for shit to start. I said, Mr. Rivera, why every time I come in your store, the cats sleep on the bread? Every time I come in the store, the cat sleep on the bread. You gonna tell me he live here? So I don't give a fuck if he live here. Get him off the fucking bread. You know, like I go to another store. So that's what I do. I just go to motherfucking Jamaican stores. Any Jamaicans here? Fuck. I love y'all niggas, even though y'all talk backwards. You ever call a Jamaican house at night? Them niggas answer the phone, they go, hello, good night. You be just standing there like, I know this bitch ain't just hang up on me. My man Jamaican, I know they talk backwards. Me and this nigga went to the store to buy new shoes. I'm showing him the shoes. I said, Trevor, look, these shoes is brand new. He gonna look at his shoes and go, yeah, this is a new brand. You ever go to the Jamaican store? Is it me? Or it ain't never a nigga at the counter when you get there. You gotta hold the shit up you trying to buy and call him from the back. You be like, yo! Huh? How much? Huh? Hold on. How much is this? You be in a Jamaican store so long, you be like, you know what? I should walk the fuck out with this shit. As soon as you get that thought in your head, this nigga come from the back of the store, you know, this nigga right here. Bombaclad. What happened? You be like, what happened, nigga? I want to know how much is the 40? That 40 right there? Yeah, this one. How much is it, nigga? The big one? Yeah, the big one, nigga. How much is it? Stop playing. All right. Hold on a minute, man. I'm going to find out for you. Hey, yo, that's my time, man. If I say, what up?
Give it up for Rashid, y'all. Come on, give it up, y'all. From Detroit, he goes by the name of